I guess we will hop into it. So, last we left off, you guys were still in the Jade Coast. Um, you guys had finished out the night. Calda being the lucky winner of the dessert raffle, winning a nice, intricately made orange alchemy jug, funnily enough. And the rest of you just kind of rounding out the evening after some just pretty heavy revelations and whatnot. Lots of discussions are going to need to be had. But after a very tense game with Steadfast, the tiefling that seems to worship Torog, Shotha, who seems like a half orc, half drow, sort of worshiper of Loth, and Glyn himself, who, from what Jaecar and Lumen derived, he seems to be a worshiper of Tiamat. And then, of course, Flammable, or just her full name, Flammable Kurat, who is a Fire Genasi woman tied to Quarterly, who seems to have a pact or agreement with the same fiery mistress, as she put it, that Quarterly has. You all, Quarterly and Lumen, you all had a tense game with them at the table, which Quarterly, surprisingly, was the one that mostly come out on top. They only played like one or two games, but as tension started to get a little bit too much to be controlled, Glenn decided to call it there. Just a little friendly game, talk over things and things like that. But as you were all getting ready to leave, you were all singled out as Glenn essentially declared open season on your group, informing all of the other party guests, some of which may not even be directly tied to Theo's ring, that anyone that could bring the head of Lumen or the rest of the group would have one wish of their desire fulfilled. As you all teleported back to Drivenload, you quickly knew you had to move and leave, as it had been made very clear throughout the night at the Jade Coast that you all had come from Drivenload. As you were packing, Jaecar, you heard this ding, 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 like a coin being flipped constantly. And he pulled out the large golden coin with the likeness of the Changebringer on it. That Fortune, the tiefling that runs the Cabin of Fortune in Drivenload, a gambling tavern, had given you. Shortly thereafter, there was a loud explosion from the front of the Remem estate, as this tall-scaled, lizard-like creature walked in with a massive greatsword on his shoulder. A battle ensued. Many of you almost very nearly died, but you managed to prevail. And as the two fireballs that had been cast started to burn the childhood home of Quarterly Remem down, you all piled into the carriage that Lord Remem had prepared. You all, Lord Remem, Malin, and several other servants quickly piled in, and you all escaped Drivenload. And that is where we sort of picked up. As you guys are, you're just traveling as quickly as you can. Lord Remem is the one driving the carriage, and he is just driving the horses, just constantly cracking the whip. And you guys travel for about like an hour or so before he stops the carriage, kind of pulls off into the woods. It's the middle of the night. The moon is just kind of full moon that you guys had used to teleport to the Jade Coast is still shining down upon you all. You see he kind of hops off of the carriage and comes over to the side of like the door to kind of talk to you all through the window. Malin, who was also sitting up on the sort of side part of the carriage, the passenger little seat, just stays up there keeping an eye out. Lord Remem is like, we need to catch our breaths and decide what the safest course of action is. I do not believe our destination should change. We should avoid contact with any and all people to minimize our presence. I've never been on the run like this, so perhaps some of you have more experience than I do. As he just kind of casts like a little bit of a dirty look towards Lumen, and continues on. He's kind of looks to you, Cordelie. How are you feeling towards him in this moment?
She would avoid the gaze, I guess. Try to show no emotions. But she is very emotional. She's very sad. I mean, she just saw her home burn down.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she's a bit stubborn. I'd say she's looking away.
I see. He gestures to two other people in the carriage that you know quite well from your childhood. The mother and daughter servants, Soliana and Alora Fenley. They are at the moment sitting in like towards the back of the carriage. They're both just clutching each other, not speaking, like terrified. They're just shaking. And I'll post a picture of them. It was Soliana and Laura Finley. And then obviously the one in this picture is Malin is in the middle of the picture here, but there you go. They're just not speaking. They're shaken to the core. They're terrified. And you see your father looks to them and then looks back to you, directly to you, Cordelie. He's like, we should get them to safety at the very least. They have no part in whatever Mr. Evenfold has gotten us into here. It is roughly a week and a half journey via carriage to the Menagerie Coast. That is if we hurry. We should proceed as quickly as we can.
Well, if you have an idea, I don't know. This is where to bring them. Maybe it's just best if we separate in general. They're not after you, so I don't think they will care to follow you.
I don't know that for certain. He seemed to cast a mark target on the entire group. I don't know if that includes myself, but perhaps he was only talking about your adventuring group. Either way,
I think it's safe to assume that you could be part of that.
Well, I'm not a fighter, and I do not plan to travel with you all into the dangerous places I imagine you will go, nor do I plan to take my servants with me into those dangerous places. So I believe my destination will be the same. He kind of like looks around for a second and then like almost as if he's like expecting somebody to be listening by like magical means or something, but he like whispers very quietly. He's like, Palma Flora, as I mentioned. I have a summer home. Well, it is my only home now, but that's the place I'm headed.
So, just so I understood correctly, he said he's not gonna come with us. Like, he's gonna go to that home and take them with him.
He will. Well, if he continues, he's like,
oh.
If you're all heading to the Menagerie Coast, it would be in the same direction. Palma Flora is within the Menagerie Coast. I imagine at some point we would part ways, though. The carriage would be a quick means of travel for you all, unless you have a quicker way. And it is worth mentioning this carriage has it's a large carriage, like very large. You know, Quarterly it is this way because your father would take his kind of staff with him to events and things like that. It has 4 horses at the front that are pulling it, so it is meant to carry quite a considerable lot, which has come in handy in this little escape plan that you've kind of derived.
I want to look at Lumen and just the rest of the group, I guess, as well. Just what do you guys think is where should we go?
My vote is on the carriage. Away from here as fast as we can.
Yeah, I'm not sure of destination, but I feel like whoever's on the carriage is going to be a pretty big target because anyone who's any good at tracking are going to follow the carriage tracks from your house. So
So maybe we go with them half the way and jump off. That way they might follow the carriage and the carriage can buy us some time while they follow them.
You see,
Or-
you see,
I looked at the guy.
Lord
Like,
Rem slowly looks over to you and kind of like gives like a what the fuck look. He
I'm
like
just-
gestures
if
to
they're
like the
after us-
breastplate. He gestures to like the half plate or like breastplate that he has and the rapier, and he's like, I barely have means to protect myself and the people here. I imagine if another one of those things that was just sent after you follow us, it would spell quite a gruesome end, I can assure you.
Well, if they're as good as tracking as she seems to think, he'll probably turn around before he finds you and realizes that we've jumped off.
I think what we should do is take the carriage to the Menagerie Coast, maybe as far as Port Tamale, and then sell it and try to cover our trail in the crowd of the port. It is the capital of the Clovis Concord. It is the largest city there.
Then
There's
I
also
imagine
means to hire sky ships or other such things we would need to move away, but
Right. I imagine that'd probably be the place to get lost.
yes.
It'd be a lot harder to track us.
There's also a company of mercenaries there that I have hired in the past. The Golden Chains. They are quite formidable in their own right. Perhaps I could hire some of their services to protect myself and the servants for the time being.
How many days did you say again? Does it take to the Menagerie Coast?
If we don't dally, a week and a half, and that is by casual carriage ride. If we're going as quickly as we can the whole time, it'll probably be quicker than that.
Well, if the horses can handle it, I say that would be the best option. You know, that's the best way to get everyone out of danger.
We'll have to take the Amber Crossroad. We'll head to the Amber Crossroads. From there, we can pass, probably not through Eurosa, but around it. Go down Pride's Walk Road, pass by Pride's Call, and then from there we would head down following the Copia Lake towards Tosoa, which would be the first Menagerie Coast city, the first Clovis Concord city. But that is, I believe, our best bet. I have heard horrible things about Zadash. Normally that would be my route, would be to head directly south. But something has happened there. I've heard there's rumors of tons of undead, a vampire of some sorts or something. Just rumors.
All right. I mean, your plan sounds good, so if that's the best option, then we should follow it.
Okay, let's move it. You see, he kind of like pauses as he's cut off by Aglar, who kind of is not looking at any of you or paying attention to the conversation. Aglar is looking at Calda, and you all hear Aglar just in a concerning voice be like, Calda? And you all look over at Calda, and since you didn't notice it at first because she was participating in the conversation, but right now she is holding her finger that has the ring on it, and it's kind of like 1,000-yard stare, just kind of blankly looking off. And you can see that the ring on her finger is like glowing, like a bright, kind of not terribly bright to like point you out in the night, but pretty bright.
Are you okay?
Calda, you kind of were initially participating in the conversation, before you felt that similar burning sensation in your finger, the same one that you had to when High Seeker Lazul, Aguilar's the leader of Aguilar's people that was at the Jade Coast, was able to tap into this and kind of glean information from it. Everything just kind of goes blurry for a little bit, and you don't hear anybody calling your name. But you hear an unfamiliar voice suddenly. It's murky, it's kind of muted at first, but it comes through with a extreme clarity for a second as you just hear a hello. And it sounds like it's coming from right in front of you. You look up and you're still in the carriage, but you don't see any of your compatriots, your friends around. Instead, sitting in front of you, presumably in Aguilar's spot where he would have been sitting across from you, you see a younger human man, cleanly shaven, longer blonde hair, and extremely well decorated and upkept Dwendalian armor. You see, he kind of looks a bit confused as he's looking around at the environment as well. Before he just kind of continues anyway. Hello, I can feel that you have gone through quite a great deal of trouble tonight. And you see he gestures to his own, this on his right hand, his right ring finger. There's a similar looking piece of a ring that is embedded. And you recognize this person, at least you recognize the silhouette, the outline. The ring showed you this before, back when you guys were traveling from Uthodurn to Quarterly's home. There was that moment where you saw that outline, that human man outline that seemed to be the other piece, and based off the information you were told, you can immediately assume that this is Prince of the Dwendalian Empire that is sitting in front of you, who holds the other piece of this ring. I am unsure as to who exactly you are, but I know you are a Kender, correct?
Yes.
Not to be
with like fierce eyes. She's very scared.
Not to be confused with halflings or gnomes. The ring, it communicates with me. It imparts knowledge that I did not want or ask for. And he kind of looks to you and your ring. He's like, does the same go for you as well?
I may have seen a few things here and there. Your Highness. She kind of gives him the daggers with her eyes.
He kind of sees a little bit off guard of that
Situation.
as you say that. And he's like, I did not expect it to derive that much. But I suppose there is no point in hiding my nature if you already understand who you are speaking to. I am indeed Prince Idus Dwendal of the Dwendalian Empire. And you are Calda Tea-Cloak, right?
Yes. That's a lie, by the way.
He kind of pauses and he's like, that information was not given to me by the ring. It was derived from a different source, but it's not important right now. You see, he kind of sits up a little bit in his seat, like he's about to. It's like a public speaking technique, something you recognize because you're very good at speaking to people. But he continues on. This ring is most likely the last hope I have of saving my nation. I recognize that my empire has many flaws, some of which I am sure have even affected your own life. However, I will not sit idly by and allow it to be torn down, though. There are many terrible people that live within the borders of the Dwendalian Empire, but there are also so many innocents that did not ask or want to be a part of this war.
What is it you want from me?
I was hoping we could come to a sort of agreement. I've come to understand that these pieces that we wear are ones of a set, combining to presumably make a ring of wishes. A very powerful thing indeed, something beyond anything I had hoped for, but I do not wish to take your piece from you or force any sort of authority upon you. What you have found, I intend on ensuring that you keep what is yours. But I do require your help. Should one of us locate the third piece, I ask that we allow the other party to at least have one of the wishes.
Okay. You want to make a deal with me to share a wish? If I am understanding right.
That is correct, and my wish is simple. To ensure the Dwendalian people survive this awful war and can make something greater from the ashes. He kind of holds his hand out like a handshake and he says, "Do you find this agreement acceptable?"
I will allow you to make this wish. And she just grabs his hand.
Kind of smiles. Seems like a sigh of relief, like, as he shakes your hand and just kind of like looks a little bit brighter. And kind of, as he's shaking your hand, he's like, pieces, they are not terribly powerful on their own, but they can do strange and wonderful things when we reach out like this. I've sensed that you have been through some extremely difficult skirmishes as of late. I happen to have experience with such things, and he like gestures to his armor, and you see like on his back there's a very intricate like shield and like a very, very nice sword at his sheath at his side. Seems to be like a fighter type, basically. So yeah, I've been trained all my life in these things. I am by royalty, by military geniuses of the Empire. I cannot help you directly in your trials, but as a show of good faith, I wish to offer you my experiences. I offer my experiences, my training. I offer what I can to you. I hope it helps in whatever struggles you may face.
Thank you.
You see, for a moment, he kind of just sits there, like holding your hand, like in an odd kind of like you're both in like still in a handshake, but he just kind of stops and kind of like nothing happens for a second, and it just kind of gets a little awkward. And then you see him wince as his ring ignites at the same time as yours, and yours starts to get brighter and brighter. And as that sort of muddledness, that mutedness comes back, the blurriness comes back, and you are just slammed back into reality within the cart with the rest of your friends. The rest of you watch as Calda, who is just kind of sitting there, the ring glowing. The ring suddenly gets brighter and brighter. At this point, it is just this large, shining beacon that is just blinding to look at. It is looking directly at the sun. If you look at her, she is just kind of floating in the carriage for a moment, her ring just glowing brightly. And you watch as she is just yanked out the window of the cart, off into the woods. And right as she's about to hit a tree, you watch as the magic just as quickly just stops her in midair. And she just begins to glow this even brighter than she was before. You all have to instinctively turn away and shield your eyes. Until just as quickly after about 30 seconds of this, the light fades. And you watch Calda just gently lower to the ground. Calda, if you would like to describe what has changed about your person to everyone.
Calda starts like looking at herself and just notices that her like bardic attire has kind of got more reinforcement to it. Her rapier, which once stayed at her side, is now being replaced with a longsword that, for anyone who is attuned to magic, can feel a tinge lurking around.
It would still be a rapier, right?
It would be? Oh, no, a rapier, sorry.
Yes.
Excuse me, I misspoke. She kind of instinctively goes to grab it and feels in her body and stance the movement of, like, someone else, and it seems to the others that almost that a different person is before them in the way that she carries herself. And she just lifts her head to look at them and sighs and just sort of murmurs, well, this is an interesting twist of fate. Songs for steel. And she just kind of takes a moment to look at each of them in turn. Alright then, if this is what it takes to keep everyone safe, so be it. A new song with a sharper edge. And she walks towards them and, is ready to speak. What happened? I saw someone.
We were gonna ask the same thing. What was that?
He just like reached out and like shook Taglar's hand.
No, you all didn't see her do any sort of movement. She was just like for like a minute or two. She was just blankly looking off, and then suddenly the ring glowed, and all that happened.
Did we determine? Go on.
What? Just get confused.
I don't know if that was really who I thought it was, or if it was some strange dream. Did you say it was? Which of the Dwendals did you say it was, Brendan? Is he peeing?
No, he got up to grab a drink real quick.
What? Sorry, I stepped
Which
away
of the
from it.
Dwendals did you say it was? I didn't want to mess that up.
One more time, repeat that. I couldn't really hear you.
Which Dwendal was it that she saw?
I believe it's pronounced Idis. Idis Dwendal. He's the
Idis?
prince. He's the
Right,
son
okay.
of the current king.
I think I just met with Idis. Idis Dwendal. He wants to make a deal. I think I made a deal. I don't know. But she kind of like scratches her head. She seems a bit dazed.
What
What do you
deal?
mean songs for steel?
Well, he said that with his piece of the ring, we could cooperate in some way, and he wanted to lend me his training or something. Something about a lifestyle in the military.
Yeah, you look at Calda now as she's saying that. She's wearing what she wasn't wearing before, a nice looking piece of half plate armor. She has a shield that she did not have before. The rapier that she initially had, I believe, it looks a lot more magically enchanted. And she also looks like a lot more toned. Like a little bit, not like super muscular, but like definitely bulked up, like very akin to what you see with Rune.
Jaecar is looking towards her and just like takes out his hands. It's like pats the shoulders and be like, "You do look a lot different." Kind of like squeezes the arms, like more muscular.
I think this might belong to him, but I suppose if it can keep us all alive, I'll take it.
Could you be a bit more specific what you mean by part of his ring? I mean,
Right. He had one like this, and he said there's a third part. And the deal was he would help me if I let him make a wish that his empire would survive. He doesn't seem to share the same thoughts of his father. It's like he can see into my thoughts and I could see his. I don't know how to describe it.
I would be
minute.
scratching my head and should just be like, what do you mean by help him fulfill his wish?
Yeah.
He said that the rings are part of a set, and if we can gather them, we can make a wish.
So
Any
there's-
kind of wish.
3 wishes. You would have been told it was 3 wishes. Ring of 3 wishes.
I know, but I don't want them.
Ah,
I just want to
okay,
immediately say
okay.
it's 3.
Wow.
So there's
Wish.
3 of them in total.
Would we
Right.
know what she means when she says wish? Like, would we know it's like the spell wish?
You all would have heard of,
Okay.
powerful mages and even
Mhm.
powerful magic items that can grant literal wishes. You all would have heard of, there's genies that have, tails that have grant wishes. When she
Oh my God.
says wish, you all immediately your minds go to that. There's not really much more interpretation there.
Plus, Glenn mentioned being able to grant someone
Yeah,
a wish.
That's the same thing that Glenn offered.
Hmm.
Is that not suspicious?
Maybe Glenn has the third piece, or
Maybe.
they're in cahoots. Hard to say. I agreed only that he could make the wish to ensure the survival of his people, which, considering our options, seemed rather fair to me.
I was gonna say it makes sense. Prince wishing for salvation for his empire, but is the capital not in immediate danger? Him lending aid seems also like an extreme from his point of view.
I agree. It seemed like he was trusting me in some way. I felt that much.
So he needs your part of the ring.
It seems so. She just kind of stares at her hand absentmindedly.
Personally, I'd like to meet this prince sometime before I really trust him entirely, but
I would
we
agree with you,
all-
Jaecar, but I've never seen inside the person's mind like that before. It was like, rather than having a closed book, having one open.
Pardon the
before me.
interruption. As Malin steps forward, he's like, "We need to go. We need to be going. We cannot stay here, especially after
There's a mob right over there.
Yeah. We
especially
can
after
ride
that dazzling display. We have to move on."
Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
And you all pile into the cart and quickly start moving. You travel for another couple hours until it gets to the point where it's just difficult to keep your eyes open, and even then you travel a little bit more. And eventually you guys find a place to bed down for the night. Who is taking the watches for the night?
Rune will take one for sure.
A little bit
Yeah,
more
me
definitely
too.
take one.
Calda would like to take one.
Okay. So, okay, I don't know why I always forget this, but is it only 2 watches that need to be done, or
3?
3?
Mhm.
Okay. So who's doing? So we'll say Lumen, and whoever else wants to go with Lumen.
I'll go with Lumen.
Okay, so Corley and Lumen, Rune and
Calda can
Calda,
go with Rune.
and then I guess Jaecar or Aguilar for the last one.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm scared to go with with Rune.
Lumen and Corley, you find yourselves just keeping watch. No campfire tonight. You guys are you've tried your best to hide the carriage in the woods. Keeping an eye out, knowing that you could be hunted at any moment.
I would be, like, looking at my book, my little tome. How do you pronounce that? Tome? Tome?
Tome.
Oh,
Tome.
Tome. Thank you. And I would be, like, scribbling around in it, and I would be like, how could I ask for Lumen? Technically, like, how do I know that I can ask him to write his name in my book and it will do something?
I imagine it's just an innate thing that comes to you.
a Death Note.
Yeah. How did you know?
You are dead.
Lord Remem. Just hear like someone collapse in the carriage.
Oh,
It is just an innate thing. You had this shadowy, like fiery book
Yeah.
for a decent bit now.
Yeah.
Since Iselcross, since Palebank Village, and as you do more deeds and you get in more fights, your power and the limits of the book seem to stretch. And it's more like an innate thing that you just seem to discover. You don't have to explicitly be told each time by her, but
Okay. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I would call Lumen over. I would be like, hey, can you come over here real quick?
here I am.
So, I wanted to try something. Like, would you mind writing your name down? And she's like holding her book towards her.
She holds up this like
Yeah, it
this
has like
book that it looks like it's straight out of the hells. And it's just this like shadowy, like fiery book. And she just kind of smiles and holds it out to you.
you look very, very suspicious.
It's just a book.
Seeing your capability, well, I now know that you know what, fair.
Hand on
Sure.
heart, nothing bad is gonna happen.
Well, does he also see that there's other names in the book yet?
No.
You do not see it yet.
Oh, there's no names. Okay.
There's a bunch of names of people you know are dead. No.
Oh, good.
No.
We'll just look at it. You know what? Why the hell's not? I'm sure my soul's already consigned. Anyway. No,
Unfortunate.
we'll write his name.
And I guess I would just get up, move a little bit away, and then just like, do I speak it? Do I have to write it down? Like, I just can talk, right? He can hear me.
I think you have to write it, and then it appears in his
Okay.
head, and then when he replies, it shows up as writing.
Okay, I'm gonna just write it down. Can you hear me? I don't know.
You hear
It's Ted.
in your head, Lemon, you hear Quarterly's voice in like a questioning kind of tone, asking if you can hear her, and as you see her like pretty far across the way, and you get the feeling you can reply in a like manner.
I sure can.
Ooh.
You see the words appear on the page, Quarterly.
There's like Tom Riddle shit.
Does it like capture tone? Like, what if I just like scream? Is it all caps?
I imagine it would be able to capture like as much emotion as you can convey on a page.
That would be hilarious.
Seeing as how the person she's sending it to is receiving her voice, she can convey emotion, stuff like that. But that's the drawback. It's unlimited sending with not being able to direct. Like if you were to try to do an insight check with somebody sending you a message like this quarterly, it'd be a really, really high DC because you're just looking at things on a paper.
That's quite funny though.
It's like,
She
that's
would
cool.
just yeah, she would just close her book and walk over to him and just be like, "Thank you," and then just gonna sit down and continue her things. I don't know, just looking at her book.
That's definitely going to prove very useful.
Yeah, it could, right? I think it's like a it's a good way of communication in case we should ever get lost.
Your house burnt down. How do you feel about that? I can't help but feel partly responsible as well.
Well, that's one way to ruin the mood.
I apologize.
I mean, you are kind of responsible, but
Certainly.
just to some degree, also, we did go together. I did go to that party celebration with you, so it's not necessarily just your fault, but it's a two-way street. It's like it's like a distorted feeling of being sad because my home was burned down, but feeling free because that home was also a prison.
Yeah, so something happened at that party when I stepped away. It seemed like you and your father's relationship soured.
Well, I mean, how would you feel if basically your whole life has been a lie? You've been treated like you're not enough. You're not what what they want you to be. And then, finding out that the reason was technically there all along. And he could have told you. It's like, it feels like betrayal. And to be quite frank, I always try to prove him wrong about me. Try to make him proud, I mean, I don't know your relationship with your parents, but it's a good feeling, I guess, right? If they love you, if it feels like they love you. I don't know. Do you have a good relationship with your parents?
I haven't seen my parents in over 20 years. I don't even know if they're still alive or not. But
How old are you? 20 years?
I am 34.
Oh, okay, so you were pretty young. Okay.
They're also far from here. I don't even know the current state of my hometown.
Well, I was unfortunately brought up differently, I guess. I mean, I don't know if it's better or if it's worse, but I did try to always make him proud, and I failed. And I thought it was my fault, but it wasn't. And I always thought I felt bad for what happened to my mother. And I always thought I need to find out, my poor mother had suffered so badly, but it seems like it was her own fault. And it seems like it was her fault that I had to suffer as well. So yeah, it's a little bit complicated. It's a little bit confusing, but
I apologize. I didn't mean to dredge up thoughts like that.
It's fine. I feel free, I can do whatever I want to do. My thoughts are my own, my actions are my own, and I finally met people that showed genuine care for me. So I feel like I was given purpose, And I'm just gonna try and give that care back and help wherever I can. Even though you kinda brought us into this shit,
You don't have to
No, it doesn't
include me in
bother
any feelings of the group. I would understand.
No, you're part, we're the Packt after all, aren't we? So, I.
It's
It
true.
doesn't
I
make
don't
me
think
mad.
Jaecar would want to hear it any other way. He might be
Yeah.
overruled there.
So, let's just get rid of this debt and let's just live, survive together.
I've only known you this past month or so,
Hmm.
and that sounds like the most quarterly way to feel. So I'm sorry it had to be such an extreme with that fight and all that, but it's heartening to hear you take a positive look on it. Truly,
It's not really like we have a choice. And
that's also true.
to be honest, I would really like to meet Glenn again. He seems like a very interesting character. So,
There's something about him that just like it is strangely charming, I suppose. I'm not too sure. Look, I don't know how the rest of the group's gonna feel, but this is just business to him, and in a way, you have to respect that.
oh, absolutely. I mean, still, he has something about him that is intriguing, and who knows, maybe he could, after all of this is behind us, could prove useful.
Well, wishes being so esoteric, it's strange that we've heard that in the most literal sense twice in the same day from him
You-
and from Calda now. I can't help but feel it's connected.
Lumen,
Maybe not, but
you get the sense, especially having been with the organization for a while. You imagine it would be very well within their possibilities to get an item that could give them actual wishes. You imagine the way he worded it in the event. It was more like he considered himself and his organization so powerful that they themselves could fulfill any request.
oh,
He was kind of that was my fault for not clarifying, but it seemed like it was less of a magical thing and more of like a choose anything you want and we'll get it for you. Which you imagine would be very well within their capabilities. You've heard of them
that
doing
makes sense.
that before. I mean, you
He'll
saw
just
the
he'll
state
just
of the Jade Coast, so you're like, yeah,
yeah,
these people are crazy powerful.
he'll just stick by what he originally thought, at least for now.
Mhm.
Won't expand on that, but that makes sense.
Well, do you think Calda could potentially be working with Glenn?
Oh, that I highly doubt. She never struck me as one to. Well, maybe. The ring is quite far spread. Alda has mentioned. Well, I feel like she would have brought that up, right?
Yeah, I mean, she is pretty open. If you ask her, she will tell you, but I don't know. You know, if there's already a maybe in my head about could it be potentially, then maybe having a little bit of caution is not too bad.
Wait, caution towards Calda?
Yeah? I mean, that ring is pretty powerful. And somehow it could be connected to Glenn. How did she get it? Like, I don't know.
You know, many times I would say that I would disagree with what you're saying, but my mind keeps getting pulled back to that man that handed us that invitation. How did you know all of this would coincide? Everything would converge.
How did he know us?
But beyond that, think about it. We all seem to have business at that party. Not being
Yeah.
invited there, from what we've heard, it's strange. So
Hmm.
I agree with what you're saying. That
But-
ring could be part of a bigger plan, fate. Why did she find it? Why is it now becoming pertinent?
I'm also wondering, but I mean, I've never mentioned who I'm searching for. So that could not have been her, but this is kind of this is a bit of a I don't know, mindfuck. Is that the correct word to use?
I think that's applicable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure either. There's just a lot to think about, and I suppose plenty of time. We have however long it's going to take us to get south.
Hmm.
Perhaps there's a good day we can pick to all talk as well, or just you know maybe let that come naturally. I'm not too sure. I don't even know where to go from here.
To be honest, I don't know. I don't. We're just running at this point, aren't we?
I was so used to running alone, so at least it's something new for me.
The more the merrier.
I'm inclined to agree.
I think we will get our answers soon enough, to be honest. Like, everything that happened so far since I met you guys is just. It's just too many coincidences.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna take a moment. You just reminded me. Well, it's been lurking at the back of my mind, but that's another thing. You know who I worship now. I've spent years traveling alone, meandering by, and I've only ever felt a piece of that faith that I've had returned. For all this time, and just in this past month of me traveling with you guys, I've found more power. More of that faith returned into me. I don't know what that means, if there's something bigger that he has plans for as well, but if you don't mind, I need to take a moment. Offer some prayer.
I mean, who am I to hold a religious guy back to pray to his god?
I'm more meant keeping watch. I need to step off for a bit.
Oh, yeah, sure. She like closes her book and just sets up to like keep an eye out a little bit more, I guess, without distractions, so you can do your thing. Go ahead.
Okay, not too long, but he is going to just wander. If there's like a line or somewhere more secluded, he's just gonna find a place, and I don't know, just as part of, I guess, a little RP, he'll cast darkness on himself.
Okay.
Yeah, because he has third level slots now, so he'll use a third level slot. He doesn't have any seconds.
All right.
To cast darkness, and he'll just offer a prayer. But more so, he's also going to try to focus on the snake and see what seemed to change.
Okay. You start to. The darkness kind of surrounds you. It was already the dead of night, but the full moon, being very bright, the light of Katha, kind of this massive full moon shining down, kind of illuminates the area quite a bit. You want complete darkness. You want no distractions, so you cast darkness on yourself. And
Actually, he can see through magic darkness, so can he try to snuff that? Just to find, like, a pure place. He'll get into darkness, he'll also just close his eyes. Just to get in the purest, like, darkness state.
Okay. As you are just completely surrounded in this darkness, there is a moment you're just concentrating, praying, trying to figure out what the change in this snake was, what power has been granted to you. And As you do so, you feel the snake slowly start to unravel itself from your arm and slither out of your sleeve. And you just kind of sit there for a moment in the darkness, wondering what's happening. And for a moment, you're thinking maybe it left you, or you're not entirely sure, or something might happen, but there is a moment where, since you can see through the magical darkness, your eyes are closed. You just hear this writhing and cracking coming from a little ways away from you. You just kind of instinctively open your eyes and you look, and you see the snake is like a little ways away from you, off in the darkness, just twitching, convulsing, cracking. And you see its skin start to stretch. Its fangs start to grow out even further. And it just twists and writhes. You just hear like this, like, sounds like the stretching of fabric being pushed to the very limit. And you see as it grows from being a tiny beast to small, about the size of a goblin. And then it gets larger, about the size of you. And then it gets larger still. Bigger than anybody in your group, about the size of a carriage. And then it gets larger still. As
Okay,
you...
well, the darkness is like 20 feet.
Yes. As
So-
you are in the middle of the forest in this moonlight, you look up at this huge constrictor snake that this thing has turned into. As it just looks down at you and the tongue kind of flicks a little bit. There's just this almost like ground shaking like hiss that just goes throughout. And it just looks down at you.
Is it trying to communicate?
No, it's just looking at you.
Is there like well, can you try to like, you'll try to like command it to move just in a spot?
Does so, without question.
What the fuck?
Even
Gonna
before
do
you
an
say,
huge
even before
thing.
you say the words, the thought comes to your mind, and it just does it.
Can I try to will it to return to my arm, like shrink?
You do so, and you watch as, just as quickly as it had grown, it starts to come towards you, and as it starts slithering towards you, it starts to shrink and shrink and shrink. And you watch as it just
Okay.
returns back to that inconspicuous-looking undead snake as it slithers up your leg onto your arm and just kind of looks at you and flicks its tongue again before it slithers back into your sleeve.
And we'll definitely let out a sigh of relief, not having to explain how he walked into darkness to commune with his snake god and would have returned with a giant snake. Like that doesn't sound good.
For the purpose of this, you now essentially have a staff of the python minus the staff part. Everything else of the staff of the python,
So just
Is
a
the-
python.
yes. But the way it works and functions is the same. It is just instead of a staff, you just have the normal snake that you've had.
You know what? I have a question, Brandon.
Sure.
Because in the lovely art that Quarterly made, Lumen does have like a chain, like apparated. Could it be like a chain? of
Sure.
sorts?
Yeah.
Like,
Fair
can I,
enough.
can I add like a staff of the python and just name it like chain of the python or something?
Sure. Yeah.
There you go.
That's
I
fine.
like that.
Perfect.
That is really
So
Matches
instead of
the
a
art,
snake,
yeah.
yeah, instead of a snake form, you watch as it just like comes back up to you and just turns like goes back down to a form to where it's able to slither up your kind of arm, and then instead of going up your sleeve, it just kind of falls limp and just turns into those interlocking chains. And you just have like a limp chain sitting around your arm.
There we go. Sick. Okay. Well, he'll return and then kind of fall back into it to watch.
Okay. You
He said real quick. He said it was Python, not adder or Python.
Python. You come back after a short while. Quarterly, nothing seems to have changed with Lumen. He just comes back. Has a chain now. That's probably about. Well, would you be wearing chain openly, or would you just be keeping it hidden?
Well, if it coiled right back around his arm and then like I guess became that, we'll just keep it there for right now.
Okay. Yeah, nothing seems to have changed about Lumen as he just kind of comes back after a little bit.
good
But-
praying session.
What was it?
You had a good praying session.
Yeah, I would say it was very, very enlightening. Sure.
Nice. Well, I
Admittedly,
go
it's
back-
kind of hard to focus after all that's happened, but
understandable. I'll just go back to read Tuskloff then.
that's a good one. Yeah. I'm a fan of that's Merceria, right?
Is it?
Yeah, it's written by. It says it on the cover. Written by a woman, Matilda Merceria.
Yeah. You. Oh my God, is that supposed to sound like Matthew Mercer?
Perhaps.
Yeah, it's not very obvious. Well, yeah, you can lend it if you want it.
Oh, I mean, I've read it before. A while,
You know-
long time ago, but I obviously I just remember the certain parts of it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's not that bad. I've read it twice so far. It's really hard to carry more books, so keeps me up.
No, we'll find ourselves in civilization. Sooner rather than later, maybe you could swap it out. Get something else.
That is true. But it's at this point, I've started reading it when I met you guys pretty early at in the cold Palebank village. So it has meaning to me. I think I should get like all of you to sign it. Just keep it as like a memory.
I mean, so you'd be getting us to sign 2 books then, because of your other, hell book.
I wouldn't call it a hell book.
Yeah, sorry, that may
It's
have came
more
off
of a-
rude.
It's more of a journal.
Journal, hell journal, gotcha.
Maybe I should find something nice to dress that goes with it. Kind of like the look of it.
It's got a style. Yeah. I think that would be a good brand,
I mean, I do gotta find my own style at some point, so why not go with this?
It's
It's
important.
got something. But
you-
maybe we should wake up the others. It's getting pretty late at this point.
Yeah, I think time to turn in.
Maybe you could sleep better after your prayers. So
Hopefully. Always gonna have one eye open. Always have. Now it's doubly so.
that's fair.
So 2
It was
hours.
yes. True.
Hey, you did it to me with the staff. I gotta do that.
It was good talking.
Yeah, sure.
Appreciate
Anytime.
the time. We turn it.
All right. Next up was Rune and Calda. You guys do anything in particular?
Guess as we're sitting up, she's, as per usual, maintaining the bow. This time, more so looking over it. Just very trying to understand what changed about it, but at the same time, she's not able to focus too much on it because she's like occasionally like looking up, like looking around at like every little sound that comes out from around them. But after a while, she will speak up to Calda. So you're looking different.
I notice. I wonder if that prince changed as well.
You might have. So you seem, I mean, seems like you have more muscle. Do you, I don't know, you said something about trading songs for steel. Can you not do that magic stuff anymore?
You watch as her face falls, and it's like you've gut punched her.
Oh,
She like huffs, like walks off, starts to walk off, and then stops. And she just
Sorry.
kind of stammers, "Is gone. I knew that the words, they're not the same."
sorry, I didn't mean to bring up a touchy topic. I'm not exactly the most emotionally eloquent, I've been told.
Do you know what they
We-
teach at Bard College?
No.
14 words to make someone fall in love with you forever. 7 words to make them go without pain. How to say goodbye to a friend who is dying. How to be poor, how to be rich. How to discover dreams the world has stolen from you. It's not there anymore. I'm a singer, a dancer, a shaper, but my words and verse, they're not the same. And she just kind of scowls and looks
She'll just
at the
kind of-
floor, can't really hold your gaze.
She'll kind of like thoughtfully look at her for a second and then just back down to her bow. I mean, there might not be magic to them, but that doesn't mean they mean any less, right?
I guess. I can see you now. Always, well, not always, just... I don't know how to explain. And she closes her eyes and draws her rapier. Draw the sword.
You
Oh.
watch as she draws the sword. You've seen Calda use like the dagger before that she's had, and she used it decently well. But as she draws this rapier, it is just with even the drawing of the sword is just with a expertise of which you've not seen her utilize before.
She's just kind of like noticing the stance change, just very like intrigued now.
Her
So-
eyes are closed, and she just goes, "Draw your sword."
All right. Rune will stand up and she'll pull one of her scimitars. It's more like this like curved, like very elven looking sword. Not anywhere near as fancy as Calda's, but she'll stand up, hold it out, crossed with her own. Are you wanting to spar? Is that what you're asking?
Maybe. Just watch. And with her eyes closed, she like just sort of dances around you and then puts her rapier directly at your throat before she like opens her eyes and gives you a wink.
Utilizing like this technique, like normally you especially having being a marksman have to see where your target is. You rely very much on your sight. there's a lot of skill into it. I mean, especially in the most recent fight, you were still shooting into the cloud, kind of knowing generally where your target was. But watch Calda just with a newfound just swordsmanship, doesn't open her eyes at all and is able to operate as if she was looking completely at you.
Yeah, Rune just kind of like straightens up at that, like not expecting the sudden movement from Calda. And just kind of like raise her chin a little bit and cock an eyebrow. Huh.
Sorry. And she like sheaths the rapier.
No, don't apologize. Not what I expected. A sudden change like that, but
Well, I suppose
Interesting.
the prince would know more. I feel it now. Like I said. Perhaps we'll
Well,
see him again. If
perhaps
he
so.
even looks the same as well.
Might have to ask for a couple pointers if that's the kind of stuff you can do. Rune will sheath her scimitar again and sit back down. I mean, if you ever want more practice with swords, I'm a little better with a bow, but I could try and help.
I might take you up on that. These old bones haven't swung the rapier like that in some time.
Old bones, how old are you?
42. What about yourself?
Rune just kind of chuckles for a second. Hold on, let me pull up the character sheet. She's not hesitating. This is just me not knowing off the top of my head.
Rune, because of your curse, you have forgotten how old you are. You forgot your name. You forgot your alignment, your height. You forgot your weight.
What?
You forgot what color your hair is.
I don't know. Who am I? Rune will chuckle at that. 160. That's quite young for elves, at the very least. I mean, we hit adulthood around 100, so.
I don't know if I'll even live to 100. What a strange people you are. She smiles.
Could say the same. Can't say I've ever met a Gender.
She's like straightens up. Nearly falls off whatever she's sitting.
Are you good?
Yes, well. I suppose my time among the halflings was the best. I really did think I was one of them, you know.
I mean, you didn't really have any reason to believe otherwise, I guess.
She just nods. Still, there's some skill left, and she like holds out a lute, and she can still tune it. There's just like, and she strums it and plays a few scales, but you notice that when she does so, she's like, it's like she's listening for something other than the tune, and she just keeps shaking her head and grimacing. Eventually kind of goes to put it away, and she's like, never mind, it doesn't feel right.
Well, I'm no musical expert, obviously, but I think it sounds good.
Thank you. Maybe there's room in the Bard College for readmitting those who've lost the way. Perhaps.
Maybe.
Either way, I see a wish in our future. What is it you'd wish for if you had the chance?
Just kind of leans back where she's sitting, just kind of folding her arms over her knees. I don't know. If I had one wish, I don't know, seems kind of selfish, but I just wish this curse away.
No,
So I could go back to what I was doing, you know?
You really wish you were a guard again? After all you've seen?
I mean, it's what I ring so long to do. It sounds really silly after, everything, but I don't want my family to look at me like I'm a freak or a failure anymore. Like I let them down.
Well, if they could see you now, I'm sure they wouldn't feel like that.
You haven't met my father.
Perhaps not. But then he would be mistaken. And she just tries to hold the thought firm and just smile at her.
Maybe. Well, I don't want to bore you with all my family drama. What would you wish for?
I already made my wish. The power to save everyone I love.
Is that what happened? I thought you said with this prince guy.
Well, I like to think I made it the second I picked this ring up, you know? That's all I ever thought. When I heard about it, of course, they said it granted wishes, and when I found it in pieces, I didn't think much of it, but ever since then I knew. Just kind of stares at her hand a bit, like moves it around to try and see the inscription or whatever's left of marking on her skin.
I guess, like I said, if you ever want any extra training or anything with the sword, I'll be around. Obviously. But I think we should probably wake the others up for the next watch soon.
Alright. Thank you for your company.
Thank you, I
Oh,
guess.
like hops off pretty happy.
Ready?
Yeah, and I guess we'll switch.
Switch. Jaecar, anything in particular you're doing on your watch? Yeah, we'll say Aguilar is with you, but he's off to the side, kind of doing his own thing, tinkering with his equipment. After the large battle that happened, there's a decent bit of dents that he needs to work out.
Hey, he sort of approaches Aguilar with a bit of concern.
No.
as
Don't
he's-
approach Aguilar. He's not here.
He
Don't
just
approach him.
wants to have identification. He just wants to identify the coin. If that's okay.
I don't even know what I genuinely don't know what
It's
Aguilar
not
has.
fine.
Let me look up. Let me look at his character sheet. Oh.
Yeah, I just wanna do that real quick, and that's it.
Let's see. Aguilar. Does he even have identify? Let's see. What does he got? God, he's got a lot of. Holy shit! He's got a lot of fucking spells. God damn.
Please
What the
don't
fuck
want
is
them to be
Spiny
identified.
Shield. HCS Humblewood campaigns. Oh my god.
Oh,
Okay.
Humblewood. Okay.
That's activated because that's where my subclass comes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aguilar will kind of nod and will spend 11 minutes casting Identify as a ritual. He'll kind of pause and look at it afterwards and hand it back to you. He's like, as far as I can see, there's nothing magical about this. Not anything, at least not anything that my magic can pick up. It must have been the work of whoever gave it to you, maybe.
Okay. Thanks anyways. Just gotta move on over. It's late in the evening. Is there anything sort of around us of particular note?
You are just parked in the middle of a forest a decent ways off the beaten path, just trying to stay hidden. Not much going on.
I guess I'll just he'll get the sword that Amrun's father gave and just look towards it and sort of like put it on his back for a bit and just like walk in like the outskirts, like put like little patrol, but not entirely too far.
Alrighty.
Just actively looking. That's it. Yeah. If he doesn't find anything during that time, I guess he'll.
You do kind of find something as you're walking along. There's one point where you hear a little bit of like, it sounds like laughter. It's not really laughter. And you look over, and these 3 hyenas kind of just friendlily walk up to you.
Oh. Just like in his thought, like, oh god, okay, these guys again. Okay. I go up to these 3 hyenas.
You said you go up to them?
Yep.
Yeah, they kind of just like sit down. You see their ears hold back a little bit, and they kind of lick you.
Hey, little buddies. What are you doing all the way out here? This is kind of pretty far, usually from where you're supposed to be. So, he sort of like sits down like with him for a second, scratching his head and trying to think about like, is this even they're like, are they even found here? He doesn't know.
Hey, you can try and roll a nature check if you'd like.
I'll do that, yeah. Why not? This is 17.
17? Yeah. So hyenas are usually not found too much on Wildmount. They're more in Tal'Dorei than anything. There's a place called the Dividing Plains that seems like that's where there's a lot of gnolls and families over there. So you imagine there's also hyenas and stuff like that. But there also are rumors of gnolls. You're thinking more so gnolls, because hyenas, I mean, they could technically be anywhere, but within the Mara Valley, which is a little ways east of where you guys are, you're in the Zemni Fields. There have also been reports of like gnolls and hyenas obviously before the war and before you started seeing all these like giant packs and stuff like that. So it's not too out of the ordinary for them to be here, but you kind of just get like a bad feeling as they're nearby, because you imagine it's not just coincidence.
Oh, fuck. He's sort of like frowns at that. They think he reaches in his like pack, looks for like any fish that's been sort of like dried for days, and he's just gonna be like, okay, little buddies, I'll just give you this for the road.
You feed it to them, they happily take it. When you start to move off, they head off wherever they were. They seem really friendly, very receptive to you, almost like they were like immediately tamed even in your presence. But yeah, they just scamper off.
Okay. And with that, I'll just, first of my watch, just one eye open.
All right. Nothing else happens for the night, so you can all go ahead and mark a long rest. Very much needed for all of you that got absolutely fucked up in that fight.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Mr. Brandon.
Mr. Brandon. Yes.
Mr. Brandt.
Yes.
How are we
Samwise. Yes. What is it?
How are we doing gold costs for resin? Do we need diamonds?
I think I'll just do it the same way you do it. What was it? 6 We decided 6th level or lower. It was just you just needed the gold cost.
Okay, so I don't have to.
As long as you have the gold, it's fine. I imagine because your characters know the components and what they need and everything like that. It's not like, you know. I just think that's an annoying thing to have to keep up with. Where it's like, oh, like if you have the gold, then we'll just assume you have you bought the diamond.
Cool. Perfect.
Because what else the fuck are you gonna buy as a cleric?
It's the truth.
Yeah.
Like, I got Revivify. There goes all my gold.
All right, so you guys start to travel throughout the day. As you guys are traveling, moving further down towards Tosoa at this point. That is your next town that you're going to come across is Eurosa. And specifically, you're trying to avoid that town. You don't want to pass through places where people can kind of recall seeing you or pass along word. So there is parts where you have to kind of take a little bit of an off-trail, rickety path to avoid Eurosa. You go back on the trail. And then eventually, as you guys are traveling, you get to a point where there is no other way forward. There's just like a stream that passes through. There doesn't seem to be any way forward besides across this relatively cramped wooden bridge. That wouldn't be a problem, except for the fact that there is a large sort of wooden barricaded encampment that spans across the other side of this bridge, kind of blocking your path. The bridge itself is not blocked, but like the rest of the way is walled off and blocked by this little checkpoint that has been set up. As you approach, you can see there are Dwendalian banners, very easily recognized, and you do see a couple Dwendalian soldiers that looks like that are, for better or for worse, their armor is kind of beat up a little bit in places, but you see a man come out with 4 other armed guards, and he kind of holds up his hand to the group as to stop the carriage. And what is, speaking of the carriage, who is driving and who's in the carriage here? The front seat has enough for the driver and then like a passenger to where you're actually like sitting up on the carriage out in the open, and the rest would have to be in the carriage itself.
Calda calls shotgun.
I would be the passenger because I don't think I would want to sit with my dad in the carriage.
Oh, Calda already called shotgun, so are you driving then?
I don't think she would know how to drive, to be quite honest.
It's okay, I can teach you.
Okay. So Calda and Cordelie on the front, everybody else driving.
That makes sense. You teach
they're
me.
in the back.
That's good.
Fair enough. You see as the a little bit more distinguished individual walks forward, holds a hand up and says, "Hello. The war effort hasn't been going our way, as I'm sure you all know. Unfortunately, we'll need to relinquish some of your belongings to help the cause, including the cart and horses. Dwendalian, the Righteous Brand are in a pretty tight spot here, so..."
Can I peer out? Do these guys actually look like soldiers?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I want to insight check if there's something wrong. Okay.
Both you can roll insight checks if you would.
Okay. Let's see. My roll streak was really bad, and it continues to be.
Dirty 20?
What'd you get, Quarterly?
6.
Okay. Yeah, these guys, like I said, their armor looks a little bit beat up, but these do look like Righteous soldiers. Rune, the way they're conducting themselves, seems to be in line with what soldiers would do, but something, especially with the request, something seems a little bit off.
It's a very weird request.
Yeah. If there's like a little window to the front, I don't know what kind exactly carriage this is. But Rune will just kind of whisper. These guys there's something going on with them. I don't trust them.
They're stuff.
They're sus.
May I ask how our carriage would help the cause, sir?
Transporting supplies and wounded. We have an encampment here, but this is obviously not the only place where the war has wreaked havoc. Many horses and the such have been lost in the ensuing battles. We need to do everything we can to replenish our supplies for the war.
Oh, indeed, understandable. I mean, to be quite honest, the people in our vehicle also. We are refugees of the war, and we do understand the situation. So where would you like for us to bring the carriage to?
If you would like to leave it here, as well as provide us with some rations, we'd appreciate it. You can be on your way then.
I don't think we can leave it here. I mean, we want to do our best to help as well, so we can bring it to where it's needed. Maybe
It needs to be brought here to this encampment, is what we're saying. We have uses for it.
Is there any chance you'd be willing to take beer in exchange for safe passage? I think we have about 4 gallons of it back there.
Roll a persuasion check.
22?
You see a couple of the others kind of look around and look to him. They don't really. One kind of like shrugs a little bit. Like
Raise morale helps the war effort, right?
The main guy looks back to you all kind of squinting. He's like, What exactly? Go ahead, show us the beer.
Okay, so she goes in. She's like, it's back here, and she like tries to lure the back.
Okay, well, if I thought you were talking about the alchemy jug. If you were lying, that's
and then she's got.
Okay.
She's gonna show it to them there, and then just pour as much beer into them as she can.
You're pouring beer on them?
Well, because that's the alchemy jug, right? She has to show them, and be like, "This is how it works."
Okay, so you pull out the alchemy jug, and they kind of like cock their heads, look a little bit interested. And you start pouring beer out, and it just keeps going and going. And he kind of like holds his hand up. He's like, "All right, well, don't waste all of it.
Okay.
You hand the jug over. I suppose that'll be enough for the time." Is that some sort of magical jug or something that you got there?
Yeah, that's right. It's an alchemy jug.
Oh yeah, I've heard of one of those. The guy behind him says, "Yeah, they used to supply the camps in the war with some of them from time to time."
Exactly. Consider this a generous donation. And he like gives it to the one who is, I guess.
You're just giving him the alchemy jug?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You hand him the jug, and he just kind of looks at it, nods, kind of takes a little swig of beer, tastes it. Not bad. All right. Well, I didn't expect to be handed over a magical item. I mean, that probably is equal in value to the carriage. Fair enough. All right. You can pass then. Let them through.
Thank you.
And you watch as the gate, these previously hidden individuals on the kind of catwalk there start to open the gate from their side, and you guys are let through. Go ahead and remove the alchemy jug from your inventory.
Okay.
The one that
Yes,
everybody rolled a couple D100s for and used all of their inspiration for.
Yep.
And that was a prize that you won.
It kind of helped. Those three.
I mean, it was going to be a combat encounter, but if you're just like, yeah, I'll give you something better and hand them a fucking magical jug that has pretty much
It'll help
infinite
them more than
shit.
it'll help me. I don't need that much beer. They probably do.
I think they were bandits.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Close. They were deserters, but that's okay.
Remember, everyone is Calda's friend.
As
Everyone.
they step aside and let you through. Yeah, that's all right. Fair enough. Alrighty. You guys pass through. Travel throughout the rest of the day. A few more days of traveling. Nothing out of the ordinary happens. You guys are keeping a pretty decent watch. Is anybody doing anything in particular throughout the days as you continue on?
Yeah, I would have asked everyone to sign their name in my books. Both of them. Both books.
Okay. Is anybody? I will say you were all presented with the same thing that Lumen was presented with. This hellish-looking book who has Lumen's Evenfold's name in it. Are you all signing your names or no?
I don't know about you all, but Rune will,
What is it
at this
again?
point in time, decline.
I mean, it looks pretty cool.
You're after my autograph.
Yes, that's what I'm after. Mm-hmm.
It's 200 gold.
She would just look at her and like raise an eyebrow. She's like, "You for real?" Basically, kind of look.
That's how much my name's worth.
Well, she's just gonna close the book. Maybe another time.
Okay, so Jaecar, you signed your name?
I'm signing my name in there. Why not?
All right, so Jaecar.
Do you even know how?
I totally know. He puts it down. It's just like, sure, it's one of the only things I really know. My own name.
Oh.
Oh, the only thing he knows.
As he puts down, it's like in a different script, not even comment. It's a gnoll. There you go.
Still works.
Is that language or scribble, Jaecar?
No, it's my mom taught me this. It's my name.
In
She's-
what script is that?
It's a gnoll.
Huh.
Yeah. It's kind of old. Nobody really uses it, but it's she says it's about our people, so that's pretty important. I only know those letters. You know, it'd take a couple of more, but I haven't really, like, I don't write a diary or books. I don't even write that much, so great of salt.
It's
I hope I spelled it right.
interesting.
Thanks.
Alrighty.
Well, thank you. I guess.
So you have Lumen's and Jakar's name in there. How many names can you fit total?
Doesn't say.
There should be a
Let me
limit.
check.
I think it's like equal to your proficiency bonus, right?
I gotta see. That is. Where do I even find that Eldritch Invocation?
Probably on your sheet. Just click on features and traits, go down to the Eldritch Invocation, you can click it. But in any
Three.
case,
Only 3.
3. Okay, so one more person after that. And it can be anybody. It doesn't have to be your party members. It can be NPCs. It can be anybody that you can
Mhm.
convince. But in any case, you guys continue on. until eventually you're getting closer to the Menagerie Coast. You're starting to smell that salt on the air, kind of passing through the mountain pass. You guys have sort of entered the mountain pass. If you look back at that little map snippet that I posted, you guys are entering the mountain pass, kind of traveling down the Copia Lake. You're actually traveling through the valley now, heading towards the Menagerie Coast, and starting to smell salt. Getting closer to the actual sea itself, which is nice. One night, however, there is, we'll say, Rune and Jaecar. You're on the second watch of the night. And the two of you are keeping an eye out, paying attention, trying to keep yourselves under control. When maybe throughout your conversation or the silence that is ensuing, there is a sound of a high-pitched scream of a woman coming from the nearby forest, probably about half a mile away.
Oh, shit.
Kind of makes you jump, the two of you.
Anybody else wake up from this? If it's that loud, then...
Imagine anybody that has a passive perception of like 13 or higher would probably wake up, because it is still half a mile away.
Calda wakes up.
David wakes up.
I'm fast asleep.
I guess we'll wake Quarterly up then. Did you all hear that? The scream?
Yes. Far
Can we
away
go check
then.
it out?
I don't know. Who's
Feel like-
who's on watch? And she Calda pushes a sleep out of her eye.
Jaecar and I feel like we should at least check it out, make sure everything's okay.
You hear the voice
Where's
again,
all
a
the
woman's voice screaming, just saying, "They're coming, help, please, please, please." Like, even more shrill and terrified than what I'm conveying. Like, sounds like somebody running, fighting for their life.
Ugh, Rune.
That
Yeah,
Do we hear
Rune,
the sounds of combat?
You do not.
Rune will unsling the bow and just kind of look to the group. Well, I'm heading out, and I would appreciate the backup.
Okay.
She's running.
There's one way to find out what that is.
I just woke up.
Is anyone not following her?
I'm
If I
going
would see her
already.
coming,
Alright.
I would run after her.
Exactly. I figured we all would.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're all quickly running through these trees in the middle of the night. The moon, which is a little less full, but it's still like 3/4 of the way at this point. The moon cycles and whatnot, kind of providing a decent bit of light. You're running through the forest. You kind of get to an area where there's a little bit of a clearing, but not too much. And you guys are just running as you hear this screaming, and it gets more and more persistent. It just turns from "help me" to just "no" and like screams of pain and just like terrified as you think you might be too late. As you all pass through, just running through as a group here. I'll say Jaecar and Rune kind of get here first. The rest of you trailing behind. I'll say Quarterly, you're probably in the back because you were awoken from your sleep, tired as fuck. And I'll just kind of space people out here, like as we're going this way.
Oh,
He's got a map.
he's got a map.
He's got a map.
He's got a map.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. But as you come through and you hear the screaming, you watch as you come through, the two of you together come through the clearing right as the scream is like about to be cut off, and you catch the tail end of where it's coming from as you look around and you see about 3 dead bodies that are just like travelers that look like they've just been gnawed on and killed. And sitting amongst them, which it seems like the noise was emanating from, there is this large, just monstrous looking creature. It has like the head of a badger, but its legs look like twisted and hooved like a deer's. And the body looks similar to Jaecar, almost like a hyena.
Oh.
It is this
Ooh.
terrifying, like, just strange abomination. And it's just laying there amongst the bodies. And as you all kind of, the two of you are the first to come through, it kind of stops, stands up on its legs, large, imposing. And in perfect calm and in the woman's voice that it was mimicking, it looks to Jaecar and Rune and says, "Your trial starts now." I need everybody to roll initiative,
Oh,
but we're going to take a
fuck.
break real quick.
Oh,
Huh?
fuck.
That's
What does that mean?
that's
And I
not-
posted a picture of what it looks like in general as well.
Why do I feel the concern and the voices in my head? Oh, fuck.
Man, playing on Rune's fucking savior. Save everybody.
You know that guy?
No.
Mm.
All right,
Oh.
we will be right back in a second. We're going to take a quick break real quick, okay?
Oh, no. Look at this face.
Initiative.
I rolled a 1.
Whoa!
Huge.
No.
Absolutely
Crazy.
huge.
Two,
Hey!
two,
Getting a turn at
two,
all
I rolled a
in this
2.
combat.
All right.
His name
And
is
then
Blue.
you're in the battle map. Okay.
I'm trying to get
Um,
in.
You're trying to get in. I gave you an entry. Here.
Blue.
Just asking to join.
I clicked admit.
It's still
Refresh your page.
Let her in.
I mean,
Yeah, it doesn't want to.
Let me in.
Okay, there we go. I reloaded the page.
All
I
right.
mean,
So, Calda, you are first.
Okay.
There's
she's
a
gonna
creature
make
in front of
her-
you.
she's
These are just
gonna-
dead bodies, by the way. These are not actual corpses. And this thing would have moved up a little bit. So,
Okay, she does move up to it and goes to attack
okay,
with her rapier of warning.
go for it.
Wait, no.
You have your
First,
bonus
it's
action
Bonus
you can do.
action. Yeah, I'm gonna use
Yeah.
Fighting Spirit to give myself
yeah.
advantage on weapon rolls and
Come on.
5 temporary HP.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so first
This is
attack with advantage. It's a 14.
14 just hits.
Okay,
Ooh.
Nice.
the other roll was a nat 1, and that was a 1-2 for 5 damage.
Okay, 5 damage. Sure.
And then the second attack. Is only a 13 to hit, so I
That
guess
misses. So you just like quickly slice into it the first time, and it kind of like staggers back. You go to swipe out, but you're just getting the hang of these new crazy skills as you guys watch as Calda, who normally stays in the back, just rushes in, brandishes the sword, and just does these two extremely quick attacks. You do have action surge if you wanted.
Yeah, let's do it. Action surge.
All right. They're still with advantage because you used fighting spirit.
Yep.
So,
So, do I get 2 attacks or 1?
2 attacks.
ew.
Okay. That's a 23 to hit.
That'll hit.
That's 8 damage.
on.
All right.
This one.
How do you want to do?
That's another 26 to hit.
That hits.
7 damage.
Yeah, this thing's already starting to look like it'll have a little bit of wear and tear as Calda walks up and just 1, 2, 3, 4, just like slashes, like a flurry of slashes. Jaecar and Rune, you guys are taken aback as she just blitzes out of the bush and just goes crazy. Yeah, is that your turn?
It is.
Okay. That brings us to Quarterly.
I am. I'm gonna fly up a little bit and I'm gonna cast Fireball.
Ah!
Oh,
In the
Okay.
forest!
in the forest!
I'm gonna cast it so it does not hit
Going fun.
her.
Going fun in the past.
I just wanted to. I've been wanting to do it for such a long time.
Okay,
Oh,
so you're gonna
God.
try and like angle it for this like rocky cliff area more and not your friends and kind of over here?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I don't want to hit my friends.
Okay, fair enough. So
Oh.
that is a dexterity save for this poor little creature. La creatura.
I beat you.
That is a 21. So he saves, so he takes half damage.
Okay, let me roll.
Kill him.
It's your electric. Ooh, 15 damage.
That's halved already?
Yeah.
15? Okay. Yeah, he's not looking too great, guys. He looks like he's having a kind of a bad time. He's a little
Oh,
bit
Oh,
hurt.
really? What the fuck? I
Alright.
rolled like 30 damage. That's almost.
Yeah.
That's a
And
lot.
anything else you're doing for your turn, Quarterly? How far up are you flying?
At like 10 foot. Oh my god,
10
there's
feet?
flies everywhere here.
Okay.
Yeah, 10 feet. Sorry, yes. 10 foot.
All right, no worries.
And is there anything I can do as a bonus? Yeah, I can usually just do hex as a bonus action, but I already used the
Casted a spell. Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. That's all I'm doing.
All right, Aglar's turn. Aglar, seeing as how the fight's going pretty decently, he is just gonna. He will. How far back is Aglar? I think he's not within. No, he is. He is. He will move. He'll go. Yeah, he'll go right there. And Aglar is gonna. Does he have his thing he can do yet? Yeah, I think he's just gonna cast. Wait, he took. Oh, he did completely the opposite of what I thought he was gonna do. Okay. I thought he was going Bladesinger, but he went Abjuration. Was okay. All right, fair enough. He's just gonna second level magic missile this thing. So that is. Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, the music stopped for a second. I thought my internet cut out. So that is 4 bolts of magic. That is 5
More
on.
bolts of magic?
Yeah, it's magic
Yeah.
missile.
That's
4 bolts.
insane.
They do 1d4 plus 1 each though. It's not terrible amount of damage, but it auto
They
hits.
never miss.
auto hits.
So you would love that spell.
That is really cool.
So that is 10, 14, 17 points of force damage to this thing.
Is that a cantrip or is it a leveled spell?
It's a leveled spell. The higher you cast it, the more that gets 1 extra bolt for each level. It's a first level spell. Magic missile. I don't know if warlocks get it though.
No, I don't
Yeah.
think so.
Unfortunate. So that is gonna be Aglar's turn. He's just gonna move up and do that real quick. As you guys are fighting, kind of trying to tear into this thing, it's just getting battered. You hear behind you a loud howl, and you watch as coming down the hill that you guys had passed, there is a giant hyena with this terrifying looking gnoll on it that is riding it. Hyena has 50 feet of movement, so I think
Oh.
he can. Can he get to? He cannot get to you. Well, he's large actually. So yeah, Quarterly, you only said 10 feet. You only went up 10 feet. So yeah, he's going to go to you,
No!
and he is going to make a bite attack on Quarterly.
No!
That is a 8. So he misses.
Me?
Uh,
Even though I'm flying, he can still reach me?
He's large.
I'm not high enough. Oh.
He's a large
boy.
creature, so he probably stands about 10 feet tall.
Oh, okay. I should have flown. Oh god, I'm stupid. Okay, sorry.
All right. That ends his turn. It now brings it, funnily enough, to the guy on his back's turn.
Oh no.
Oh,
No.
great.
No!
That's what you get for staying in the back.
He is. You watch as he as he's riding towards you. He pulls out this just jagged-looking curved greatsword that just looks like the edges are made of almost like a saw blade.
Oh.
He's gonna run
It was
up
good
to
knowing
you.
guys. It was very good knowing you.
He's gonna run up to you, and
Oh,
he's gonna
fine.
make 2 attacks using the thing here.
Fuck. I can already tell.
First attack.
Oh, shit, man.
That is a 20 to hit.
Of course that does not hit. Obviously
Funny.
it doesn't.
Funny.
I know.
Let's see. Let's see.
This is the first time I'm actually taking proper damage.
Yeah.
That's not true. You got knocked
What?
down when we were in that store, and
No.
those bandits.
I didn't. I actually saved us.
Oh
No,
yeah.
you get.
no,
Oh yeah,
okay.
she didn't take any damage. Okay, so that is. Okay, you take 10 points of slashing damage,
No.
and
Okay.
you are wounded as you watch as the sword cuts into you, and it just leaves this jagged gash that's just festering, and you can see this magic clinging to where it hits. It looks like it's going to do some additional damage eventually.
Oh, fuck.
Oh no.
He's going to make a second attack on you.
No.
That was almost real bad, but that's a 7. That
That
misses.
doesn't hit. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Let's see.
Yeah, I have a question for that's for the future. But if I fly up higher, is that giving them an opportunity attack?
Yes, yes, it is.
Oh, fuck me.
Unless you use your action, to disengage. These 2 attacks. Okay. That is going to end his turn. That is going to bring us to the creature in front of all of you, who is really on his last legs here. One host attack. Yeah, he's going to make a bite attack on. He'll do it on Calda. 18.
Does not hit.
Yeah, so you guys watch as Calda, with her newfound prowess, just holds the shield up and just deflects the bite attack. It is going to do a hooves attack on Aglar. It is a 11, misses. And as its bonus action, immediately after it does that, it can take the disengage action, as it's going to use kicking retreat. So it turns and goes to kick the hooves. It tries to bite Calda, turns around, goes to kick at Aglar, and he has his armor, kind of puts his hands in a cross arm formation, kicks off of Aglar, and it is going to go. Let's see, where is it going to go? It's got a decent movement speed. I go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Yeah, it's gonna sneak around to you guys here. That's its turn. Jaecar, you are up.
Okay. Fuck. I'm gonna try taking this thing down.
You got it.
His name is
I got
Lou.
this. It was Lou.
Lou.
Louis.
It is an abbreviation of what the creature's actual creature name is. I do it for.
That's
Yeah.
Lou.
I'm a
Lou.
rage first, and then I'm going to take 2 swipes with my with refined taste. Oh yeah.
Refined.
So that's a 20 to hit.
That hits.
They'll take. Let's see. That's 16 points of slashing damage.
Yeah.
Hmm?
How do you want to do that for the creature? He's dead.
Yeah. The
Thank
cautious,
you.
like, as he sees him running, says "Oh, you're gonna die running tired." And he's going to sort of see him off towards the side and just brace himself as he plunges it deep in towards its side, sort of slashing outwards and sort of trying to, like a butcher seamlessly going after the organs, sees it sort of spill off to the side. It's clean.
Yeah, you watch as you oh, I'm sorry, I forgot this thing had another feature that I just completely neglected. That's okay though.
Oh.
That's fine.
Oh my god.
It was an aura, it was a stench. It was you were poisoned if you didn't succeed while you were next. It's fine. It's all right. He was getting absolutely
Kara's used to
annihilated
that,
anyway.
it's
Yeah, it's all right. But you guys should have been Aguilar and Calda should have been affected by it. It's all good. All good.
She's a friend
Um,
of Jaecar. She's used to smelling him.
You watch as you kill this thing. It lets out another shriek of the woman, sounds like a woman screaming, and then it just kind of devolves into just it seems like it can mimic voices, but you just kill it very quickly. Is that your turn?
That's just one attack. I'm gonna move a little bit towards that thing over there, the giant.
Okay.
Yeah, why not? Just over here.
All right.
And for my next attack, I'm just going to, you see, Sterling Jaecar like lean back, take out a spear, and just chuck it.
Okay. Are you targeting the hyena or the guy on top?
I'll do the fuck, not the hyena. He's gonna go after the guy on top.
Okay. Go for it.
Okay. 17.
That hits.
That's we'll reload. That is only 5 points of piercing damage.
Okay. Let's see, within 30 feet of it. Where were you guys at? Yeah. He died right within range. He's going to the guy you hit is going to use his reaction, Death Frenzy.
Oh.
You watch as he sees the other creature you guys just killed get killed, and he lets out this scream. He is going to make another bite attack on Quarterly
No!
as a reaction.
Are you kidding, man?
Mm-hmm. I'm not kidding. All right, Quarterly.
Kidding.
12 to hit.
Doesn't hit.
It doesn't or does?
No, doesn't.
Yay.
Okay. God, I cannot roll great at all today. I'm just rolling like 9s and 7s and 6s. I'm supposed to kill you guys, all right? I'm supposed to win the game.
Yeah.
All right. Is that your turn, Jaecar?
Yeah, that was my turn.
All right, Rune, you're up.
How tall is this cliff face next to me?
It is about, I'd say 20 feet up.
Okay, so I don't know. If I were to go large or something, would that be like pretty mundane to climb up to?
I'd say it would probably, since you're growing like 5 feet more to large, it would scale it down to 15. So you'd have to use, it would still be double movement to climb because you don't have a climbing speed, but it wouldn't be 20 feet. It would be 15 feet to climb.
Okay, so let me. So that's 15 to get up. Yeah, that's fine.
Are you climbing up there?
Yeah, but I'm going large
Okay,
first.
you-
I'm gonna
you-
do the
as-
big shift.
As you climb up there, you see there are 2 other gnolls up here that have bows. Look like they're about to attack as well.
Alright, well, let me mark Giant Smite. She'll kind of look back, seeing that. She'll. Hold on, let me move myself. I was gonna go, like, right there. She'll look back to the group below, say, "There's 2 more up here, look like archers." And she'll fire at the first one, I suppose.
Okay.
One right in front of me. So
Mhm.
that'll be a 29 to hit.
That hits.
Okay.
Misses, yeah.
Missed it. Oh. Alright. So I will do that. It's a D8 plus 8 piercing, 4 radiant, and an extra 2. So 8. 14 altogether.
Okay, he's looking pretty hurt.
Uno más. 12 to hit.
That just misses.
Fuck. Rolled a 2. You know what? Fuck it. Action surge. We ballin'. One more on him.
Okay,
21.
that hits.
Okay. 1 second. Rolling the extra damage.
It doesn't matter, he's dead.
Okay. Next guy.
All
Good
right.
on him. Fuck me. 14?
That hits, yeah.
Okay, good. I rolled a 4. 7 plus 1 radiant and 3 extra. So 10 total.
Okay.
Big.
He's looking pretty hurt.
Okay. Yep.
Is that your turn?
Yeah, stand my ground.
All right. It brings it to these little guys, the ones you just fucking annihilated. He is going to pull out his spear, and he is going to run up to you, hold it in 2 hands, and he's going to make 2 spear attacks on you.
We'll try.
9 misses. I can't roll, dude. What's going on? 14?
Misses.
That's his turn. Lumen, you're up.
All right. You said these are all gnolls, like the person riding the hyena? That's
Yes.
a gnoll?
Yes.
Still gonna try it anyway. He will cast Moonbeam on the rider and the big hyena. It's
Okay.
5 feet. It's 5 feet, like a column. So if he needs to put it on the back side, just not to hit quarterly.
All right.
Thank you.
And he'll do it at 2nd level. It's a Constitution saving throw. If it's a shape changer, they have disadvantage. I actually forget what gnolls are.
They are
There's
not.
shape changes.
So just Constitution. But
So they both need to make Constitution saves. Okay. First one. Oh, he has. It's the only saving throw he's proficient in. And I still rolled garbage. That's an 8.
failure.
Okay. And the hyena. 10.
That's a fail. So they take big roll, big roll, big roll. That's decent. 11 points of radiant.
Okay. Does that spell say anything else? It's just shape changers?
A shape changer makes it saving throw with advantage. If it fails, it also instantly reverts to its original form.
Okay, so it's just shape changers.
It's a shape changer thing, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Is that your turn?
On each of your turns after you cast a spell, so I can't move it now. So I think he will move. He'll go into the tree line. 10, 15, 20. Can he get in here where I just put him? Or is that like a trunk?
Yeah, you can
He's
get
just
around
trying to
there.
get, like-
That's fine.
Yeah.
That'd be like cover if you go behind it.
Yeah, right there. That's
Yeah.
20 feet.
Mhm.
Okay, we'll get some cover.
All right. Brings us back up to Calda.
Calda runs 30 feet closer and uses a bonus action to taunt the rider.
Okay, what kind of
Is
save
the-
is that for him?
It is a wisdom save.
All right.
DC is 13.
Well, guess what? I failed again.
Seems your mount has more spine than you do. Care to prove me wrong? She points the rapier at him.
He looks pissed off at that and definitely takes the bait. So it's disadvantage on everybody besides you?
Yes,
Awesome. Okay. Is that your turn?
it is.
You can use your action. Use the bonus action to taunt. You can use your action to dash up if you wanted to, unless you want to bring him to you.
Yeah, that's the idea. To
Okay.
get like him further away from his mount.
All right. Quarterly, you're up. On your turn, the wound,
Yeah. How
you
much?
take a whopping 1 necrotic damage.
I'm dead.
But it looks like the wound is not going to get any better. It looks like it's festering pretty bad.
Ouch. Okay. Do they have disadvantage, or only that one guy has disadvantage?
Only the one guy has disadvantage on you.
You know what? Fuck it. Would I get disadvantage if I fireball?
No, fireball's a save, so they have to make a saving throw.
Ah, yeah, you're right. Okay, I fireball.
Okay, where are you fireballing?
We ball in.
Are you trying to do it like back here to catch them in it? Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're just getting those two in it. But leaving yourself out of it.
Yes, of course.
Okay,
I don't want to
so
be on fire.
hey, you have resistance to fire now.
Amazing.
I know, but still, I don't want to give myself damage.
Okay. So first one is going to make a dex save. That is a 13.
That fails.
Second one is going to make a dex save. That is a 4. So they both fail.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they both fail. That's good.
Boy.
They both take 40 damage.
All right. Well, the hyena's dead.
That's a lot for third level fireball.
This guy is gonna. This guy's gonna. As he gets blown up, he's gonna fall. Technically, he would. I'll have him roll an acrobatics to see if he can maintain that. Yeah, he rolled an 18, so he lands on his feet. However, because well, no, it's not his turn again. He didn't get his reaction back. Okay. Anything else you're doing?
Damn, that was a good roll. No, that was really good. Damn.
Okay. I need you to make a con save, please.
Okay.
You got it.
Okay. 17.
Okay, you managed to. God, you guys are rolling really well, and I'm rolling really shit. This wasn't even supposed. This wasn't really a hard encounter. It wasn't supposed to be hard, but like you guys are making it trivial. Yeah, you kind of like use some of the fire from the fireball and just like staunch the wound with it, and manage to stop whatever effect was happening. So you're good. That ends your turn, brings us down to Aglar. Aglar is going to cast a...
Oh, I also get 7 temp HP.
You do. Because you're a Fiendlock.
More now? Maybe it's even more now. I'm gonna check that.
Let's see.
8.
He is going to cast a second level chromatic orb at the big guy. As a 23 that hits, he will choose. Gets to choose the type. He'll do cold. Why not? That's a big number. That's 19 points of damage. This guy's not looking too great. G-Rod. All right. Aglar will. I'll move. Yeah, he'll move like there. Ends his turn. Brings us to this guy. Getting absolutely annihilated. Yeah, he's gonna make some more. He's gonna make a bite attack on you, Quarterly.
I decline.
Huh?
I decline.
Okay, understandable. He's gonna honor the request. No, he's gonna make a bite attack on you. With disadvantage because of Calda's taunt. Please roll the same way you just rolled there. 19.
Damn it.
Hey, Cloud Ring.
Okay, who are you doing it on?
I'll do it on
I
myself.
hate you guys. I quit. I'm leaving. I'm checking.
Yeah.
I'll do it on myself.
On who?
Myself.
Okay.
Wait, you're taking the damage you would have hit me with? Did I?
Yes.
do that correct?
Yes.
Oh damn.
You take 5 points.
Sorry.
You take 5 points of piercing damage. I read that wrong. I don't want him to use that. All right,
Wait,
second attack.
Couldn't you do this person?
Huh?
The archer?
Oh yeah, she could, but she already chose
Oh.
herself.
I just
He's so negligible. She just forgot about him.
I forgot he was still there. Can I do him?
Yeah, too late.
What?
I need things to go my way for once. A little bit of damage makes all the difference. All right, second attack
Listen,
on Quarterly.
A little sus.
I would have known he was there.
Second attack on Quarterly. It fucking misses. You rolled an 8. God damn it. Okay.
Do I still have to take it?
Yeah. That ends his turn.
Asshole?
That ends his turn. Shakar, it's your turn. Pay more attention. I'm not throwing you guys any bones. You're level 5. I threw you guys so many bones. I threw you so many bones last combat.
Brandon,
This
listen
one.
to me. It's because I can't tab between the map and my sheet like back and forth that quickly, so I forgot he was there because I was looking at my sheet.
Well, skill issue.
I'm just
You literally just attacked the guy. I don't know how you forgot. That ends his turn. It's Shakar's turn.
Who is this giant thing dead over here?
Yes, it's just the guy standing there now.
The guy said they would. Okay, I'm going after the guy. The guy. Yeah, just gotta go up this far. Why not? Gotta make a few reckless attacks.
Okay.
There's a couple reckless attacks that we do.
Just a couple
Hold it.
reckless attacks. Okay, that's a. Well, I rolled pretty shit. That's 13 for the
13
first
just hits.
one. Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
We take those. That's 15 points of slashing damage.
Yeah, how do you want to do this? You guys are just tearing through this shit.
Yeah, he's just going to get his like greatsword again and just going to just go for like a clean sort of like cut across his neck. There you go.
He
Just look
as you cut into him, he kind of like smiles and looks at you, and he just says in Gnollish, "Well done," before he dies.
So he has mixed feelings about that, as he sort of like tosses like the blood to the side from Aaron's sword. I'm just gonna go towards this guy. Just look at Agassi on his own.
You see the, like I said, just for after combat, you see the very like nasty looking curved greatsword that he had just clatters to the ground as well. But you do clock that as he drops it.
I'm gonna grab that later.
All right.
But this guy over here on Slothsome.
All right. It is a 20-foot cliff to get up to him, and it's half movement when you're climbing. So.
Could I get a? Do you think I could still aim with a spear from?
No, because you're standing at the bottom of the cliff, and he's further up there. You can see Rune, but you can't see him. Yeah.
Angles. That makes sense. Let me see how far would I get up. How much movement would it be to get up this cliff?
It'd be 40 feet of movement because it's double your movement is halved when you're going up there, so it's double.
Yeah, no. I guess do I even need to shift? I'll just save it. That's the end of my turn.
Okay. As the two of you are fighting this guy, especially as it comes to Rune's turn, there's this voice you hear calling from where the large hyena and the other guy came from. You see, coming back from where the voice is, you see an incredibly large gnoll, like probably larger than you, Jaecar, and standing next to him, an orcish woman that are standing there. And you see as the gnoll is just kind of standing there with his arms crossed. He says, "I see the instinct within both of you, the primal drive to slaughter and devour. You've both harnessed the blessings you carry at one point or another, that I'm certain of. Give in to the bloodlust, the hunter's intuition, and kill all that stand in your way." And you watch as the orcish woman kind of waves a hand with a smile, and there's a totem that appears kind of like between Rune and Jaecar. Both of you get the temporary HP that you would get from
shifting.
From shifting.
Oh
and,
no!
Oh god.
And you both have advantage on the first attack that you make on your turn. I also need you both to make me wisdom saving throws, please.
Let's go.
I would look panicked. At
Actually,
Rune,
it's at the end of your turn. It's at the end of your turn.
Okay.
Rune, you are completely shifted. At this point, you are no longer an elf. You are just full were tiger. As your hair, your ears, and everything just grow over, and you guys don't even recognize Rune anymore as she's just clutching her head as this thing appears. Jaecar, same for you. You just like bulk up and twitch, and there's just like this, your eyes just glow that terrifying bright red they did when you first came back to the group. Rune, for the time being, this guy right here, he's your ally. These little people down here, they're baddies.
Oh.
Oh shit. Okay.
So my original buddies are baddies, is what you're saying to me?
Yeah, they're not very nice.
Oh no. Right. Do I have the mental capacity for a bow right now, or just like something more like melee?
Yes, you do have because the bow is muscle memory. Yeah, so you can use your bow.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay.
It's okay. Just do
Oh,
your strongest.
If you,
It's
I mean, if you
okay.
want, you could roll 1, 2, 3, 4. You could. Jaecar is also
Yeah,
your
let me roll.
ally in this.
know
Jaecar
what?
is.
oh,
Hurt-
good.
Hurting yourself, Rune, was actually a really good move.
You can roll a d4. Quarterly would be 1. Calda would be 2. Lumen would be 3, and Aglar would be 4.
Lumen, guess what?
I'm just saying. I'm
Behind a
not
tree.
mad. I'm also not mad if you can think straight and want to go logically how you would go in a fight against enemies and take me, because obviously I'm the weakest right now and the closest. So just
Lumen?
say, I'm not mad.
Yeah, Lumen is in total cover right now.
Okay.
So I
So
don't know
maybe
if you'd even be able to. You would choose the just roll a d3. I'll say it'll be Quarterly, Calda, or Aglar. Because yeah, you wouldn't even see Lumen at this point.
Yeah, I don't really know who. I don't know if she has like the mental capacity to reason.
Yeah,
that
and be like,
much.
he's behind that cover, and you're just going for the first person you say. It's
You roll 1, 2, 3. Oh, let me do it in rolls. Actually, that would help. Dice rolls. There we go. 3.
3. Okay, so that's Aglar.
Aguilar.
Watch his character die the session while he's gone. I'm like, hey, buddy, sorry.
You know,
I feel so
I mean, if
bad.
he's doing armor abjuration, that's really good combo.
Yeah, he'll be alright.
He can be
He'll
very
alright.
tanky.
If my character sheet will reload. So first attack. If that'll load. Oh, he's lucky. I rolled ass. I rolled a 2
Well,
for a 12.
your first attack is with advantage.
Advantage. Yeah, you're right. 16. I rolled bad again.
That misses him as he kind of looks up and just deflects the kind of spectral arrow that comes his way. Your second attack?
Yeah, she'll just kind of roar in frustration and aim again for a 22.
22 will hit. He is going to cast shield.
Yeah.
He's going to do first
Good-
level
good call.
shield as he is going to just as he deflects the first one with his armor. The second arrow comes too quickly, and he just takes his right hand, which is he uses his left hand to deflect the first one. He uses his right hand to just like weave a shield across, and it deflects. And I believe he also gets something else as a.
Cool.
I think he gets the arcane ward thing. When you first level her, you can create a magical ward on yourself that lasts. Yeah.
Oops.
So as he casts shield, you watch as it stays there, and he now has a magical ward to protect himself, which is pretty cool. Is that in your turn, Rune?
Yeah, that's all I got
All
right now.
Go ahead and roll. Make me a wisdom save at the end of your turn.
So I had rolled one before you said the end of my turn. Do you want me to use that one, or do you want me
Just
to
roll again. Yeah.
15?
Okay. As you attack Aglar at the end, you kind of come to. You look down at yourself, and you are semi-aware, but you are not at all. You don't look at all as how you normally look. You are just present for this, and you look down at yourself, and you don't recognize yourself. You're just pure were-tiger at this point. It is terrifying. This little guy here, he's going to run up. He's going to go 5, 10, and he's going to attack. He's going to make 2 longbow attacks on Quarterly, since she looks like the easiest to hit, and she's wounded. He's just trying to take her out.
Right.
First attack.
Am I
Is
still like?
a 12.
Sorry, yeah, go ahead. that doesn't hit. Am I still like hurt by that slashing wound, or I fixed that one, right?
You did fix it, yeah, but there does seem to be a little bit of magic that is clinging to you still that you're not too sure what it does. God, I cannot roll good, dude. That's a 9. Both miss. You don't even have that high of an AC. It's just I cannot roll good at all. All right, that's his turn.
I'm like flying up and I'm like moving like boom, boom, left,
Yeah.
right, just
Yeah.
watching it.
Lumen, it's your turn.
All right. He will move the orbital beam just through this line of people. He will pass it through Jaecar, Rune, and the gnoll. You can use as an action. You can just move it 60 feet. So I think that's enough.
So each of them have to make a con save?
Con save. However, if you're a shape changer, you have disadvantage.
Do we count as shape changes?
Good question.
Should.
Good question.
You should.
Right?
They're
like we should.
shifters, so I would assume yes.
Okay.
Well, even beyond that, if they don't have disadvantage, they return to their original form if they fail.
Oh,
Okay, do they roll with advantage or disadvantage?
If
disadvantage.
a shape changer makes its saving throw with disadvantage, if it fails, it also instantly reverts to its original form and can't assume a different form until it leaves the spell's light. So he's going to pass it through, so they're going to leave it.
Okay. So go ahead. So Jaecar and Rune, go ahead and make con save. It's con save, right?
Con save, yep.
With disadvantage.
Okay. 16 both times.
15.
That succeeds. 2 16s.
15 for me.
That meets it. Fuck.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
You guys still take damage, but I also the third guy as well.
Third guy rolled a 14.
Yeah, he fails, but
Okay. That's
you
all right.
guys still take half damage.
He's not the main character of the story. He's fodder to be killed.
So he takes 12 points of radiant. You
Yeah,
guys
you-
take 6.
You watch as he screams and just burns up. He's dead.
Still got my 10.
Okay. It only affects people once, so he won't move it back or anything. He'll just leave it in the space that guy was.
Okay.
But that was his action. He didn't. That's not casting a spell, right?
No, because you were concentrating on it, right? You were just moving it?
Yeah. It's just as an action, yeah. On each of your turns after, so I can still cast a bonus action spell?
Yeah.
Okay, if there's still like a weird bit of like energy or something clinging to Quarterly, he will healing word her.
Okay.
See if that helps. So that is first level 6 points.
You watch as Lumen reaches around the tree and goes and casts the spell on you quarterly, and you watch as initially the warmth, the familiar warmth of the spell washes over you. Your wounds don't heal.
Oh, good.
The healing
Right.
magic does not work on you at all for the time being.
Oh.
That's what that
Uh,
Shit.
Yeah, it's a
this-
really cool sword.
Oh, fuck.
is. Oh, that's the sword. Okay.
That's fun.
He'll stay behind the tree. That's his turn.
All right. That brings us
Yes.
back up to Calda Tea Cloak.
It's
You
great.
got
That's
it.
great. That's not scary at all.
Fuck.
Calda is like rushing over to help Cordelie and kind
Thank you.
of tries to put her shield between her and Jaecar. And then she yells at him to try and snap out of it. And holds. If I can hold an action to hit him, if he tries to lash out, I will. Otherwise, I will wait. Because she chooses to believe that he won't hurt them.
Yeah, this seems to be an internal battle. As you just shout to him, Jaecar, you don't hear anything. You are just bloodlust, just ready to attack and kill. The totem in front of both of you, that similar totem, where it looks like the half gnoll holding the flail, and then the other one is just like this bestial-looking person with their claws extended. The similar ones you've seen before. Is that in your turn, Calda?
Yeah, I'll just be waiting and watching.
Quarterly, it is your turn. You look down at your wound and it's not healed, and you just saw Lumen try to heal you. There's a problem here.
How big is Jaecar right now?
For the sake of this, we'll say he's large.
Okay, how large is large?
That is, if you're trying to fly out of his range, he will be able to. Yeah, he'll be able to opportunity attack you for the second,
Unless you
okay.
engage.
unless you use your action to disengage.
I mean, I didn't take any more. Yeah, I'm good. I will stay up here. These large gnoll and orcish women, those are also still enemies we're fighting, right?
They seem to have called something out, and you saw the orcish woman was the one that
Yeah.
shot the totem down. They do not seem to be brandishing weapons. They're both. The orcish woman is standing there with her hands behind her back, just kind of watching, and the gnoll just has his like typical like Radon pose, like just hold like arms crossed in front of him, just kind of smugly watching this go down. They don't seem to be fighting. They're just watching.
Okay, the totem. Can I attack the totem?
It seems to be this like kind of incorporeal thing. It doesn't seem like it is an actual thing that has.
So I can touch it even.
No, it just seems like it is like a magical totem that's there.
Oh my god, he's puking again. What the fuck? I'll just shoot 2 Eldritch Blasts at the orcish woman.
Okay. And roll to hit.
Yeah. That's a 19.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay, that's 13 damage. And the second one is a nat 20.
Oh shit!
Woo!
And that is 17 damage.
You watch as she just like you just shoot the 2 blasts at her, and she just gets hit, staggers back a little bit, and looks up at you, and there's just this fierceness as she just calls out. And she says, "Jaecar, kill her now!"
Oh my god.
Oh man!
Is that on your turn?
Oh my god. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna fly up.
Okay, Jaecar, go
Yeah.
ahead and make an opportunity attack on her, please.
It's better than two.
Anywhere.
He's in the hallway.
If he hits me, I'm gonna fly up 30 feet. If he hits me, whatever damage I get, write it in the
This-
chat, because I need to
15 hit.
clean Freddy's puke again.
Okay.
There's a 15 hit.
15 does hit her, yes.
Oh, fuck.
It'll be okay.
That's 19 points of slashing.
She is really hurt. She has I think she has temp HP, but I just see 22 is the most she has right now. I can't see her temp HP. I know she got temp HP from killing the hyenas, so she's still up. So you're just gonna slash into her. Just hold on to that number or write it into the chat. As she flies further up, you just slash into her as your reaction.
I'm gonna use my reaction to activate my ready action to hit Jaecar for lashing out accordingly as well.
Oh.
Go for it. Did you reckless attack last turn, Jaecar?
Yeah.
You did. Okay,
yeah.
so this would be an advantage, Calda.
Okay. So
Yep, that
21 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Do I attack once or twice?
I think it's just once when you ready in action, as far as I remember, unless somebody can correct me on that.
Yeah,
I think it's just once.
It's pretty bad.
Okay.
Damage.
That's 8 damage of piercing.
There you go.
So it'd be half to
Wait,
4.
well, you're readying the attack action.
Yes.
The attack, you have 2 attacks.
Okay.
True, but I thought
think
there
you
was a
guys
thing
want
that's let me
It
see.
isn't like
Okay, I'm still up.
well,
I'm still up. 19 damage. Fucking hell, man.
Yeah, you might be right if there's like something that like is specifically saying if there's a reaction, it's only 1. But I know like it's an action. You're just taking the attack action, and that is just 2 attacks. So I thought if you ready the attack action, it just does that attack action.
That's what I was doing.
Okay, so the problem is the reason you only get 1 attack during the ready attack is because the extra attack feature itself specifies on your turn.
That's true. That is true.
So you only get the one attack. That is a weird distinction, but
I
I
never
knew there
knew
was
that, yeah,
something
on
that
your
happened. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds legit.
All right. So that has your does that
So it wasn't my turn.
that was your trigger. Gotcha. So to Aglar. Aglar, seeing all this happen, he doesn't really know what to do here. Aglar's gonna look around and be like, "Are we trying to knock Rune and Jaecar out? What are we doing here, guys?"
Trying to survive.
I don't want
not
to hurt
let-
them.
Jaecar, eat.
All right.
We might have to knock them down.
Yeah, he is going to. He's going to hit Rune. Looking up at Rune, you can kind of tell she's more or less coming to. He'll hit Jaecar with a second level chromatic orb. So let me roll, and it's at advantage because you reckless attack last turn. That's a natural 20. Oh shit!
Hell yeah.
He will
Let's
do. He will do. What sort of damage should he do?
It's
He'll
First-
do. He'll do thunder. He'll do thunder. That's his thing. So,
Yeah.
Acid. It seems like that would hurt the most.
48 points of thunder damage.
Oh my god!
yeah,
that was a
there you
really
go.
good roll. Does that take you out?
No,
Oh my
How
god!
much was that?
No!
48.
48?
he's barely standing.
At 3
and he's
HP.
staring
Oh
at
my
him like,
God.
no, like,
It's barbarian.
Of course, he's not here for the epic moment, but you guys watch Aglar just feel like, all right, sorry, buddy. And he, like, in Kamehameha fashion, like, takes this thunder chromatic orb and just, boom, just strikes into Jaecar and watches staggers back. I will say, taking that much damage, go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw with advantage, Jaecar, because that
Oh,
would be
yeah.
enough to fucking knock you out of that shit.
yeah, I feel a chunk of my body fucking ripped out from that. Like, damn.
Aglar's like, so we gotta knock them out? Alright, power of Zeus.
Let me roll
With
for
advantage,
wisdom.
because that is like, you went from doing fine to holy shit.
That's a
something just-
natural 20 on the first roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn.
And good enough too, because it was going to come to your turn next.
Yes, I'm okay.
As you and Rune, and both being these large creatures, you're just walloped by this thing. You see a white flash that takes over the redness that is the red bloodlust, and you kind of just stagger back for a second and just kind of shake your head and look around.
Yeah, with my blood on your hands, Paul's.
Yeah, you look up and you see Quarterly, who is really fucking hurt, and there's just blood on your sword. You vaguely remember what was transpiring, but yeah, it is just a complete and utter just mess of things. You look around, and you and Rune are both these large creatures. You look up at Rune, and she looks completely different. She just looks like pure were-tiger. And the battle, for the moment, seems to have calmed down. You instinctively look back up to the individual up on the hill. This man, this massive gnoll. As he is just like chuckling to himself. You see the orcish woman is recovering, looks like she is just kind of patching up her wounds. You watch as she casts the spell on herself and heals her wounds that she took from Quarterly, kind of like grimacing. And then she waves a hand and the totem disappears. You see the large gnoll on the hill just kind of smiles, and he points to you, Jaecar, and he says, "You who lives again and pledges their soul to the Lord of Slaughter, brandish the great sword that was used against you. Consider it a gift for such a wondrous display. May it serve to carve flesh and bone forevermore." So he just lets out this hearty laugh, and him and the orcish woman just turn to leave. I start walking
Yeah.
away.
Seeing them turning to leave, she's still kind of in this daze, just coming to grips with what's happening. But seeing them turn and leave, she just her eyes kind of go wide, and she's like, no, you can't leave, not yet. she'll try and take some like pot shots at him, but I imagine it's not gonna do much here.
Yeah, they
I'm
kind
giving
of
them
they
this-
kind of head over. They head past on this cliff into the brush and the thing, and it's a decent way away from you. Pretty decent. I know you have a far range on your longbow.
Yeah,
I will say, for the sake of this, any that do hit, he doesn't even acknowledge. He just shrugs it
yeah,
off.
I'm sure.
No.
But as he's walking away, you hear his voice kind of carrying off in the distance as he says, if you're willing to partake in more trials, follow our trail to nature's end, beyond the city of Guarden.
Oof.
He just
Nature's
heads
end.
off. Any of you that would like to roll a history check can. You all would recognize Guarden. That is a city within the Clovis Concord. But if you want to roll a history check for Nature's End, you're more than welcome to.
Dirty
History.
20.
20.
Yeah, 19 plus 1.
8.
17.
Lumen and Quarterly specifically, you both kind of, not a place you've been, but you've heard of, being adventurers, and Quarterly, you reading about like adventures and stuff, reading about places you potentially would want to go. This was it is basically a ruined temple that presumably used to belong to the Wild Mother before it was desecrated. It lies in the wilderness beyond the city of Guarden, kind of in the direction that you guys are heading, funnily enough. Like it'll take you pretty much pretty close to Guarden and that area. But they're called the Ruins of Sepeska, I believe it's pronounced. But Sepeska is translated, it stands for Nature's End. So you imagine that is where they're heading, and conveniently, it's in the same direction that you guys will be heading anyway.
Oh.
This really hurts. Can someone help?
Yeah, come over here. 1 second, Quarterly.
Jaecar looks over towards the greatsword. And slowly picks it up.
Okay. You pick up the greatsword. It feels natural in your hand. It is this curved, like just jagged edge, like the side that actually you use to cut is these like sawtooth jagged edge. Very well crafted, but looks like it's seen a lot of use.
Oh.
And you look over Quarterly and you can see the magic that's festering on her. You imagine this thing could do some pretty crazy damage to your enemies. Go ahead and add a greatsword of wounding to your inventory.
Mm.
Hell yeah.
Everyone gets a fucking big ass weapon today. What did I miss?
Lumen, you're heading over to Quarterly. What are you doing?
He's gonna try lesser restoration. It is can end one disease or condition affected. The condition can be blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned. So disease or one of those conditions.
You try to cast the magic on her, and again, it doesn't seem to take.
You can start now, Lumen. You can start.
This is giving me deja vu.
This is something nasty. It was from that sword. You gotta be careful.
You didn't.
Or you swing that thing too far. That's wielded against us. That could devastate him.
What do you mean by nasty?
Nothing's working.
Well, it really hurts.
Can you just do a medicine check? This seems very unnatural.
Go ahead and roll a medicine check.
16?
16. With the nature of the sword and like the magic that is clinging to her, it seems like it's intentional. It's something that's supposed to be like, you can't just quickly be healed. It's just warding off all magic. You imagine this is just something that's going to have to be like, time is just going to have to wait for the wound, the enchantment of the sword to wear off of her.
But am I forever immune against healing now? That would be crazy.
You don't know. You have no clue.
Can I identify the sword?
Do you have identify?
I have identify. I have to cast it as a ritual spell though, so it's gonna take.
Aguilar
10
was about to walk over and suggest that, but as he sees you pulling out your book, he kind of backs off. Jaecar, are you allowing Quarterly to cast identify on the sword?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd be very hesitant getting closer to Jaecar though, because he just took a pretty big piece
For
out
the
of
for
me.
context, Rune and Jaecar are both still large, and Rune is completely changed. Like she is still a were tiger.
I always preferred cats.
Rune, if
Oh,
you
I
want me to,
like-
I can try to return you to normal.
If you
It'll
can.
hurt.
Whatever you can do, I don't care. Just do it.
He'll cast Moonbeam again.
Okay.
I think if I recast it, it's a different, because it can only affect people once, but that's just a casting of it, right?
You mean the shape change thing can only affect people once? Is that what
No, I
it's
just mean
saying?
the spell, because like
It's-
Moonbeam
it
would still
works
be
for
up,
cast.
but I think it can only affect people once, because then you could just keep moving it out of range into range and keep hitting somebody.
Oh, right.
It'd
When
be
it's
like
up.
If I
Gotcha.
recast it, if I recast it, it's another casting, right? So I can affect
Yes.
her again. Okay.
So
Yeah,
Jaecar
it's
and
another-
Rune, I imagine you guys are voluntarily failing the save.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Go
like,
ahead and roll the full damage.
I take damage. Oh god, 14 points of radiant. Oh, I think did I just knock Jaecar out?
I go unconscious.
You watch this. You just cast that Rune. You are back to your self, and you're ready to celebrate. But you look over, Jakar's just on the
Shit.
floor.
I should have healed him first. I'll cure something.
Okay,
That's
so
3 HP left.
the magic does work on Jaecar. You're able to cure wounds him. So go ahead and roll that. Quarterly.
Well,
So you get 12 back, Jaecar. You are back to more or less your normal gnoll self, or rather, your normal Goliath-looking self. Who you still have the circlet on. I don't know if you were wearing the circlet or not, but
Mhm.
Rune, you are back to, unfortunately, not fully back to normal. The features that have been growing have significantly accelerated. Your nose and mouth have kind of more elongated into a snout. Your hair, you've gotten like the hair on your arms and legs and stuff like that seems like it's like there's patches of fur starting to grow. You look like a shaved tabaxi. You look like a freak of nature right now.
oh jeez.
Oh,
It's terrible.
Do you have like a image, like an example?
It would just be picture like a halfway transformed were person. Really, it's just not.
Okay.
She's like more further along in the process. Quarterly, as you cast the ritual on this thing. This is a sword of wounding. The first thing that comes to you as you derive the magic. Hit points lost to this weapon's damage can be regained only through a short or long rest, rather than by means of regeneration, magic, or any other means.
Oh Jesus!
So you have to take a short or long rest to regain hit points. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with an attack using this magic weapon, you can wound the target. At the start of each of the wounded creature's turns, it takes a d4 necrotic damage for each time you've wounded it. And it can then make a DC 15 con save, ending the effect of all such wounds on itself as a success. Alternatively, the wounded creature or a creature within 5 feet of it can use an action to make a DC 15 medicine check, ending the effect of such wounds on it as a success. So basically, anybody that Jaecar hits with this is not going to be able to regain hit points. And then he can also like wound them and do like damage over time.
So no hit points at all. Not the hit points that were given by that one or taken by that one, but no hit points at all.
No, like you cannot be healed unless you take a short or long rest.
Okay, so not healed at all. Okay, yeah. Well,
But then it goes away after that.
It goes away
Yeah.
after that.
she's just gonna look at it, and she's just like kneeling in front of it while she did the ritual, and she's just gonna look at them and be like, "Well, this is gonna be useful, but please next time don't hit me with it." As she gives it back to Jaecar.
I didn't hit you with it, but
Well, don't hit me at all. Would be preferred.
Rune just kind of like
no,
looking down at herself, seeing this extra fur and stuff. Like her nose just kind of wrinkles in like this look of disgust. But hearing Quarterly say that next, if I were you, I wouldn't trust any of us with weapons now. You saw what we just did.
Managed. It's But what are these trials that they were talking about? Are they a way for you to get out of this?
probably not.
I doubt
I
it.
mean,
He seemed like he was egging it on.
does Jaecar, does it ring any bell?
Huh?
Does it ring a bell to Jaecar?
No, not at all.
Sort of like frowns and just sets himself back down.
He seemed to know who you were, though. He called you. He said something specific that kind of like, as you're thinking back on it, it's like, how did he realize that? He called you, you who lives again and pledges their soul to the Lord of Slaughter, and he pointed right at you.
Yeah. How does he know my name too?
Are they friends of yours?
No. I mean, like,
Related in any kind? The one guy, at least?
Is that the
think
gnoll we've
it's-
been hearing about?
I think it's Tarkus. That's what I'm thinking.
oh,
And he got away.
Damn it.
That was my
shit.
one shot at being normal again, and he's gone.
Hey,
Just like-
Well-
hey.
Well, you
You
know where
know
he might
I know
have.
where he is.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
Tarkus? Sorry, who was Tarkus again?
It's
As a refresher, he was the one that way back on Islecross, the group of shape changers that
Ah, okay.
Rune and Jaecar, they mentioned him that he had taken a group away from them and considered their curse that they have a blessing, and was they suggested potentially following him to see if there was a way to perhaps find out if they could look more into the curse and stuff, because he was looking into it. They mentioned he was looking into it, but for nefarious purposes. Like, he thinks it's the blessing, but is doing research nonetheless.
Okay, I remember. Well, I don't think you've lost him. We know where he's at. Or where he's waiting. At least.
Then we'll just
Exactly.
follow him right where he wants us.
We're also fairly directionless at the moment. He mentioned the place greatly familiar. It's along the way. It might be something to consider. Our
And
next stop.
it seems like we don't really have a lot of time looking
it's
at.
just getting worse.
this.
For
Yeah, I mean, I guess we have no choice. If this is the only option we have, if this is the main way to make sure that you gain your own free will back, Rune. And Jaecar, I mean,
I presume that's what the two of you want.
Ultimately, your choose choice.
You don't know how hard it is for me trying to convince myself to stay with you all right now after that. So, of
oh
course,
well, you
that's
have no choice anyways.
and Tarkus might have some answers that I've not been looking into for the longest time. Maybe it'll. This is the only way.
Yeah, and if you go crazy again, we'll just have to knock you down again, right? And Calda
Yeah,
looks to the
of course.
others.
I guess.
Yeah, Rune just
We can let Aglar handle that. You saw what he just did.
I'll just make
Sorry,
sure
I-
to stay away this time.
I kind of got a little bit carried away there. Sorry, Jaecar. I didn't mean to hit you that hard.
That was a good fight. Plus, I don't think my patron's gonna let me die anytime soon anyway.
You mean
That's good.
that god of slaughter?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know if that's comforting or not.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What is Who is that god of slaughter? Will we know that name?
Yeah.
I
He
don't
brought it up
know.
before.
Hello, hi, I'm here. You look over, you see Malin. He's like, I don't know what just happened, but we need to move again. We cannot stay here.
That-
Right.
Rune just turns to walk back to camp. She doesn't say anything else.
Rune. Fuck.
And
I'll just later.
Just
As
wanted
the-
to get
the-
good sleep. That's all I had.
as the questions and answers hang on the balance there as you all head back to camp, that is where we'll end our session for the day because I have 3 minutes to get ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All good.
Thank you so much.
Hey,
Thank you.
Crazy stuff.
Hell yeah.
Enjoy that sword,
Yeah.
Bacon. I wanted to give
And
I wanted to give the
name.
marshals some fun toys to play with. So you guys are going to be doing some crazy damage.
I also want a toy. Can I have
Yeah, well, you can fireball like 5 times in a row, and you have the book and all this other
Oh
crazy
no, I'm
shit.
not
so-
talking. I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about a fighting toy.
You also
I
have the
know-
staff, the Skybonder staff.
I know.
What?
I'm not talking about a fighting toy. I mean like a doll.
Well,
A voodoo
Yeah,
doll.
Fiona is like, yes, of course, honey. Here you go. Just hands you like a doll. Through
Yeah,
through
of
a portal to hell.
course. No, you go get ready for work. I'm just joking.
All right.
Anyways.
Take it
Take
easy,
care,
guys. Have a good one.
Bye.
hey guys.
Bye.
Bye.